Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. This is another episode of SNTR Gaming News, and we are covering New World and fast travel. I want to talk about how it works. I also want to give some tips and tricks on how to manage it, some things we've learned about Azoth and the currency needed to fast travel. So if you found this video helpful, hit subscribe, the bell button, and show up for those live streams. We greatly appreciate everybody coming in each day. And for those of you that are here in the live audience, we like to start the show with the talk. So if you clicked on this video as a VOD, this is an SNTR update. The fast travel in New World is approached in a variety of ways, and some people have been greatly confused by it, and it's caused frustration as well as complaint. I believe there's good and bad about how they approach fast travel, and I have some helpful tips on how to approach it. Before I get to those tips, if you like these update videos, hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss my uploads. First, how does it work? Because it's not like a game where you can just click anywhere on the map and just zoom over there. There is a lot of traversal, exploration, and walking. This has caused some people to say, my goodness, can I get a mount? Can I get anything to speed up travel? First and foremost, fast travel only works when you're in a town or a fast travel location. You can find these shrines out in the wild, and then they are shown as like a little fast travel arrow later. Once you've done that, you can fast travel to those spots or to towns that you have visited, but in order to initiate fast travel, you need to be in one of those locations. You use an Azoth currency, and depending on how far you travel and how much weight you're carrying, the price of fast travel may vary. This is frustrated folks because they feel like you're being charged just to fast travel. I've got some tips on how to keep the Azoth flowing. The only other way to fast travel is to recall to an inn or recall to your house if you happen to own one. And these recalls have a cooldown of 1 hour for the inn and then a range of 4 hours to 1 hour depending on the tier level of your house. Now, this obviously creates pain points for the player, making fast travel a choice rather than just a mechanic that you can just point anywhere on the map and constantly use. This is obviously becoming a point of contention for players, so let's talk about the good and the bad before I give you my tips. The good aspect of this, in my mind, is it leads the player to exploration and normal traversal, which keeps the game from becoming a mechanical exercise of fetch and return. You're already doing that, and I think it really sort of just turns the game into a cold mechanical exercise when you run out, do everything, and just zip back to the town to turn it in, and it takes a lot of the sense of wonder or even journey from the game. The bad aspect of this is it can leave players frustrated at long distances, feeling like they can't just get anywhere. They're like a human sort of pack mule boomerang, carrying everything back and forth. And oftentimes it can be sort of a loathsome journey home once you finally got everything done. With a few tips and tricks, I think early game adjustments when you're starting out, really fast travel can become less of a hindrance and more of an empowered choice that adds to the power fantasy and the sense of progression for the player. So, tips and tricks. First and foremost, do quests and side quests as often as you can because that keeps the Azoth flowing. If you start focusing purely on faction board stuff, you're not getting Azoth. If you're focusing on town board stuff, you're not really getting Azoth. You're getting it from those quests and those side quests. This allows you to fast travel when needed, and also be sure to explore and visit settlements in areas that are level appropriate for you. Even if your faction doesn't control them, it's worth visiting them. That way it opens up fast travel later. As early as possible, I would recommend gathering plenty of materials for crafting iron tools and then use the 15 Azoth for each one. That 15 Azoth, when you're crafting that tool, it gives you a chance for a perk, and the perk pool's pretty small on the tools. It took me about 6 or 7 times on each tool to get the Azoth extraction perk. That's the one you're looking for, and this makes every stone, tree, harvested plant, or skinned animal have a 34% chance to drop 1 Azoth. And this adds up quick when you're out there chopping trees down, you're grinding, you're harvesting, or you're hunting for animals. It's nice padding to get that on your tools. And again, the RNG was pretty good. The perk pool is pretty small for the tools. Be mindful of which inn that you've checked in at. If you've just found a town and you've grabbed a bunch of quests and side quests, check in at that inn so when it's time to go back, you can recall to the inn. Now, there is a cooldown on that, but again, if you're going to play for an hour or two and you know a big chunk of that's going to be focused on one town with a bunch of quests and side quests, check in at that inn. It'll free you up from using your Azoth currency. Work toward buying a home in a convenient position on the map, because this adds one more fast travel probably for you for each play session. Given the 4, 3, 2, and 1 hour cooldowns, that's not going to land on most people more than once a play session, but again, that's one more free fast travel. When you can, grind the corrupted portals that open up on the open world, and you can do those. That starts at about level 25, and this is a really, really good grind for Azoth. If you're completely, wiped out, grind those portals and those open world corrupted activities. I hope these tips and tricks helped you. If you like this short video, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next one. And if you're here in the live audience, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll go immediately to the zoom out scene so you can see my amazing Skeletor shirt. And I know you guys have lots of questions for me about something completely different this morning, and I'm happy to answer some of your questions. What's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. What's good, Light Leap? There's your attention that you ordered. Good morning, Hex. Good morning, everybody. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Smash that like button. Let's get our first 100 likes. Let's get it going. We greatly appreciate it. And we are covering New World for a while. You've clearly misunderstood. I was talking about the monthly reports, not the annual. There we go. Sorry. So good morning. Sipping on the last bit of Rageous Roast before the next one shows up. There you go. Yeah, get your Rageous Roast orders in if you need to restock or you haven't had a chance to try it yet for the very first time. We appreciate everything you guys have been doing. Let's hear the purple leak take. So I don't know what all has been leaked yet. It was alarming to me to see the monthly earnings and to see that I was in the top 50 at the time of my ban. Would you like me to send you a selection of German Pilsner? Yeah, dude, do it. Anyway, so yeah, that kind of surprised me. Somebody just misunderstood my tweet when I said I was in the top 40 or 50. I wasn't in the top 40 or 50 annually, but on a monthly, if you look at what folks just pulled in September, when I got banned, I'd have been top 30 to 50 earnings on purple, which, really shows you there was a whole lot. There was a whole lot of more motivation behind my ban. The hacker responsible apparently said that it's a disgusting, toxic cesspool. Here's my thoughts. Okay, if it's everything, then folks should be worried, because that would be all communications. That would be all whispers. And that could really, really lead to some good things for me, and it could lead to some really, really good things for others. So if DMs start to get seen, I would be very, very interested to see just how many people were dumb enough to use the purple platform to talk about what happened to me. So yeah. I mean, Light Leap, it was obviously not going to maintain itself, right? It wasn't going to maintain itself. The growth patterns were not sustainable, right? I was making probably 300 times what I normally would. This is only apparently phase 1 of the leak stuff. Yeah. Yo, Basido coming in with 2 months. Snagged a PS5 this week and finally played Returnal, beat Biome 1 and 2. Such a good game. Double Dippers rise up. Thank you, Basido, for being a Double Dipper. Thank you for the tip as well. If that's only phase 1, then the group that went after me should be very, very worried. Because I guarantee you a lot of them were dumb enough to use the purple platform to whisper, to talk about it, to plan it. You'll be able to find evidence of the targeting that they did, in the directory, what they did to people, the way they messed with folks. I'm hoping it all comes out. I always said everything eventually comes out. And so, yeah, I don't know what his motivations are, Eugene. Obviously, I was worried for people's accounts that are completely innocent and just use the site like normal. But I was also sort of grinning like the Joker, like, well, okay, like this could really, really hurt people that deserve it. So, yeah, the gifting went kind of crazy, Light Leap. Like, ordinarily, I only maintained about 1,500 to 2,000 paying subs. And when I got banned, I had about over 6,000 paying subs. So that skyrocketed me up into, like, the top 30 to 50 earners on the platform. Which, again, I think points to the ulterior motive that people had for taking me down. It had nothing to do with truth and reality. It was, this guy's becoming one of the biggest people on the platform. We can't have that. We don't like him. Whatever the motivation was. I know Bungie was involved. I know they were involved in the planning. I know their corporate attorneys were consulted before this all happened. I know big streamers were consulted on how to take me down, on what they should do and how they should approach it. So the amount of money being showed shows why people are so vindictive and toxic. There's so much money, they'll backstab. That's exactly right. You have to consider that I skyrocketed into the top 30 to 50 earners on the site. Why do you think they took me down? Why do you think? Yeah, Dan, you're a little under where it landed because I also had advertising dollars and bounty board dollars. So 20 ain't quite it. That's a little short. That's about 10 short, my man, what I was going to be earning every month, which is exactly why we were so excited. We were like, we're going to pay off the house really quickly. You know, obviously when you're at that echelon, your sponsorship deals start to go up, your contracts start to get better. And a lot of people don't understand. So this number, I was blown away at the amounts, 2.5 years. And you being top 40 to 50, it probably wasn't going to last. I usually had about 1 to 2K paying subs. At the time of my ban, it was over 6,000 paying subs. So yeah, it was nuts. Yo, Aaron coming in and renewing that membership, getting an updated badge. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Can you explain what happened? So apparently a hacker got angry, right? About something at Purple. We don't know what they were angry about, but they were angry. And they decided to basically hack and compromise the entire site. Every single piece of the site apparently has been hacked. And according to Carnage, what they're releasing right now is just phase 1. They found everyone's earnings. And they're exposing that, which you're seeing. You're seeing why people are so cutthroat over there, because there's literally millions of dollars to be made. Millions, okay? Like when I told you guys that I had a 6-figure business that I built over 5 years that was going to set up my family for life, I wasn't exaggerating. I wasn't like saying that to like blow smoke or to like act tough. It was like, no, I spent 5 years building something that the growth patterns were, I was going to create generational wealth for my children. And that got blown to bits by basically one woman, one fraud liar woman convinced a bunch of people of things about me that wasn't true, and slowly over 2 years turned an entire community against me. And all it took was one tweet to detonate my life. And purple is run by cowards. So instead of them doing the right thing and opening up a formal investigation and actually analyzing the claims, analyzing the evidence, they didn't investigate, they didn't interview, they didn't do anything. They just basically banned me as a form of retaliation when I publicly defended myself because they didn't do anything for 2 weeks. I was sitting with a guillotine hanging over my neck thinking, is today the day I'm going to get the email? Like, I don't understand. Like, am I going to get banned or not? They wouldn't communicate with me. They wouldn't respond to my emails. They wouldn't respond to my lawyer's emails. They just basically ghosted me for 2 weeks. So I went on the defense. I was like, look, if you're going to just drag me into the court of public opinion and lie about me, I'm going to point out all the things that you're saying that are false. I wish I would have known more. I wish I would have known the guys that run Rare Drop had publicly lied about me. They blocked me. I couldn't see their tweets. I would have included that in my video, right? Nolan Saints with 2 months, thank you for renewing. 2 months from SDMF, thank you so much. I was like, what is going on, Master Ty? Yeah, your keyboard must have been getting... It had to be something. I felt like something got laid on the keyboard. A cat. There we go. We have our answer. And so I kept telling you guys, I was like, you don't understand how toxic that platform is. You don't understand how toxic that directory was. These people had been doing these things for years. And so my hope is, this is my hope, I hope they all get exposed. Like, it's unfortunate that this is the way that it has to happen. Like, I would have rather it been a discovery process and an actual legal document and a legal proceeding. But if this is how it has to happen, I hope they all get exposed. I hope all their whispers, I hope all their plans, I hope all their DMs get drug into the light and they're exposed for what they did. Not just to me, but to other people. I was not the only one that they did this sort of thing to. And if I'm them, right? If I'm them, I'm worried because they've got to be thinking we did an awful lot of stuff and said an awful lot of things that may be publicly viewable very, very soon. So they better be hunkering down and getting ready, because that you're talking about corruption. You're talking about background deals. You're talking about business disruption, actionable, civilly actionable things that went down. And if it all gets drug out, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. And I hope, like I said, I hope it hurts the right people. I feel really bad for anybody with an account over there that is completely innocent and just uses the site to either stream or watch streams or whatever, right? It will all be admissible now if it's public record once it's dumped out into the open. Well, yeah, I would hope so. This interests me the most. The leaked data reportedly includes the entirety of their source code with comment history going back to early beginnings. I'm telling you. I am telling you, dude. I'm telling you. That's not how admissibility in court works. Yeah, it depends, because if you acquire the information through inappropriate ways, you can't use it. But once it's in view of the public, if it can be verified and vetted, then it might be admissible. I don't know. It's not just passwords at risks. They got everything about everyone who has an account there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. They got everything. So it's not just passwords. We're talking DMs. We're talking whispers. We're talking any communication. All of their chat history. You know, that stuff's not as worrisome, because that stuff, there were bots. We used a bot that logged all of the chat stuff. You know what I mean? We used a bot that did that. You know what I mean? So Creature says, call it what it is. Somebody let them in. Yeah, I don't know. So card numbers and such used for subs? Very possible, Hex. Yep, very possible. I would be changing your passwords, and I would be whatever payment method you had on there. I'd be contacting that payment method, and if it's a credit card, canceling it. You know what I mean? Yeah, emailing addresses, billing addresses, full names. Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. This is bad. This is bad for purple. Yeah, turn two-factor on, all that stuff. All my Amaranth donations are going to be public now? Yeah. Obviously, I wasn't going to cover this and make a thumbnail or anything. I saw it just this morning, and my first concern was, oh crap, that's a lot of people that are going to be put at risk. Their information's put at risk. And then I thought, oh crap, this could really, really hurt people. You know what I mean? That Hylian shield. Oh, you like that one? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. This one stayed up. I let this one stay up for another day because, you know, Hellblade and I have a special connection. Listen, if you clicked on this video for New World coverage about fast travel, we obviously are a little invested in some pretty big news that happened with the Purple platform, and it got hacked, and so we are discussing that. There was literally no way for me to not discuss it this morning. Yeah, that too, Fozzie. It's bad. It's bad. Whoever did it, I really, really pray they have some level of a conscience, and they're like, we're not going to release people's home addresses because you're gonna put people's lives at risk if you do that. You're going to put people's lives at risk. You can't do that. You can't release people's addresses. You want to release like chat history and whisper history to try to hurt people that are nasty, you know, okay. But you release people's addresses, that's freaking, I mean, they would find who did it, and then that would be literally millions of accounts of like cyber terrorism. Because you basically doxed hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. I don't know what their user base is like. But yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning because if they decide to release the addresses, that is very, very dangerous for that kind of a thing to happen. You know what I mean? I thought watching Purple streams was for nerds. Then I saw Amara sit and blow up a cucumber in a hot tub. And I knew what love was. That's right. How do I keep Origin from doing the tray announcements? Like, what the frick is going on? Where is that? Where's, like, my settings? So I got into the beta early. We have a, here we go, application settings. Notifications. I don't need any notifications for my friend activity. Like, what the frick, dude? Achievement unlocks, incoming chat messages, no, we don't need any of that. Okay, cool, there we go. Alright. Far Cry 6 reviews are disappointing. Yeah, well, Doc bomb info in the coming days then maybe? I don't know. Obviously people are going to be coming in all day and asking about it, so the worry and the concern is that it's sensitive information. Like, that's the worry and that's the concern, right? Is that sensitive information releases. If it's just DMs and whispers, then I'm going to maybe throw confetti in the air and say, if that's all they got and that's all they released, then that could help a lot of people get what they deserve, right? But I'm not going to celebrate everything else. That's dangerous. You can't, people's actual home addresses, their billing information, when stuff like that gets released, that is extremely damaging to lots of people, So, whoever got this info is going to milk it for the next 6 months. Well, maybe that would be a great way to get caught, you know what I'm saying? That'd be a really, really great way to get caught. Been playing the Battlefield beta. It's pretty fun, but it has performance issues. I think the game is beautiful. I couldn't believe how good it looked on my Xbox Series X. I got a little irritated because I couldn't get anything going. It was like I would switch to an anti-tank weapon, but then it made my primary weapon terrible. And then I realized you could switch your primary weapon. Like, it didn't look like you could. It looked like they were like set loadouts, but like you can right bumper over and change your loadout. I was getting irritated. I was like, what the frick? I was like, I'd like to have a decent auto rifle and an anti-tank weapon. You pick the one loadout that has anti-tank, and it gives you a terrible primary. So yeah, top 100 earners on purple. You'll never believe number 53. Yeah. Leaking personal info is a federal offense. Oh, I mean, there's all kind of consequences once they start releasing that stuff. Not sure how it works in the US, but the UK Information Commissioner Office would fine the company into the ground if they were found to not be protecting personal data. That is a potential reality here. Purple could be facing severe fines and litigation for not adequately protecting people's private information. It's one thing if they do so like a surface level scrub of the site and grab like chat messages and DMs, right? But if you got into the back end and you got like tax documents, if you got like personal info and all of that, I don't know. It'd be a great time for them to put a bit of focus back on Twitter. RNGesus said they're going to be looking into it. Yeah, he said they're going to take a look. Yep. Never gave money to Purple. Site just struck me as fraudulent. Streamers playing games for the enjoyment were being squashed, and the partners were allowed to break TOS at any moment. Oh, I mean, I don't know. It also doesn't factor in so much. No YouTube funds, no sponsors. Oh, right. Their earnings. Right. Yeah. Amazon looking at Purple this morning going, can you do anything right? Yeah. YouTube never said that you were live for me. I don't know what to tell you, my man. If you're... I don't know why notifications seem to work the most inconsistently for the people that are here every day. It's so weird. It's almost like, do they do it because you're here anyway? I don't know. I don't know why that happens. There are literally people here every single day. Traveling today. So Hogue Law is commentating and saying, this guy says this is huge. Under California law, wasn't Purple supposed to notify users of a breach? I hope no social security numbers were leaked. Also, Purple's in more countries than just the US. What about European laws of notification? Yeah. It looks like right now the passwords leaked are encrypted, which would not trigger the California notification law. I just heard they claim the federal law requires notification whether encrypted or not if over 500 people have been affected. So, yeah, I don't know. If it's just passwords, it can't be just passwords if they're getting earnings reports. That's not, unless they use the passwords to log in. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see how you get into the earnings if you just got people's passwords. That doesn't seem like that would be enough to get to people's earnings. Who knows? It's got to be more than just passwords. I have DMV, meaning TZ Collector's Office, big fun. Be back around 3ish. Okay, cool. They allegedly show that popular streamers were making millions. Yeah, whatever. I don't care about how much people were making. I don't. I care about people's private information not becoming compromised, right? And I care about bad stuff getting drug into the light if it can be, right? If bad stuff can get drug into the light that can and should be, then obviously there's a part of me that's like, well, okay, let's see where this leads. You know what I mean? The money doesn't... I don't care about the money. Yeah, the money doesn't surprise me at all. It's not hard to add up how much people are making if you just have a rough idea of their sub count. Like, you know what I mean? Some of that information I don't think you get from just hacking the website. That's what I'm saying, Eugene. I said for a while now that somebody somewhere at that company was gonna be a whistleblower, right? It's happening with Facebook right now. Eventually someone's going to say, you know what? No. Frick you. Like, I'm taking you down. Like, 120 gig worth of text files is a lot of data. Yeah, that can't just be text file. Oh my gosh, 120 gig? Now you guys know why discovery process is so expensive if you go into a legal proceeding. It's not cheap. It's not cheap because you have to, that's how many lines of text. I mean, millions and millions and millions of lines of text. Third-party sites track their income already. It's the other information that's a big deal. Right. Yeah. I would hope that sensitive information and private information is, the hackers have the sense to say there's no reason to do that. That's damaging to people. But if you want to expose DMs and messages and show what people did and how they acted, I'm kind of here for that. So, like I said, the people that hurt me, the people that went after me, and the people that, abused their sense of power and did what they did to others in that directory, if I'm those people waking up this morning, I'm nervous. They've got to be nervous. If they ever used Purple ever for any kind of communication about what they were doing and all their background behavior, I don't know. I would think that most of them would be smart enough not to use the platform. So it might be a total pipe dream to think that they'd be that dumb. But brazen, arrogant people who think they can do no wrong tend to be reckless. So a lot of garbage will come to light. Yeah. And I like I said, I've always said I'm not going to go on this scorched earth thing. I'm not going to go out with what I know. I'm not going to, but it might point back to Discords. Huh. Is that how they got in? Through through Discord connections? That wouldn't make any sense. I wouldn't think so. The Discord integration's been around for years. I don't know. Even if you don't use Purple anymore, the passwords haven't been encrypted. Everyone should 100% go and change their passwords and enable two-factor. Yeah. It might point back to Discords. Oh, the whispers. Yeah. We already have video proof that they're dumb, so yeah. You can sit back and watch it burn. Yeah. What's he say in that song that I like so much? He says, the funny thing about justice is it always comes around when you least expect it. I don't know. It's gonna be messy. You know what I mean? People who bragged about colluding and then claimed that their name was trademark smart. Yeah, well, we'll see. We will see. We will certainly, get to see the results of this. And we should probably try and not stay on this too long, because we're more than likely going to be meeting people that are looking for New World coverage. So that's not going to be a good use of our attention. Didn't Facebook just get hacked? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea if they recently got hacked either. Yeah, we're getting a decent suggest and search click rate right now. So if you're new and finding the channel, right now, about half of you are finding us because you're looking for New World coverage. If you have questions about fast travel, thoughts on fast travel, feel free to hit subscribe and comment in the chat with your thoughts on it. Obviously, like I said, throughout the day, people are going to ask me about the situation, with Purple. You expected so-and-so to be higher on that list? I didn't. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Facebook accidentally removed their web access protocol or something? Huh. Why is this wet? You got lost for 5 days in New World, had to finally emerge. Well, welcome back. Enjoy the sunlight. Enjoy the sunlight. Yeah, they released a new patch. You guys want to hear the patch notes? So the patch notes for New World went out this morning, and there is a lot of different things that There's a lot of different things that they mess with. There was war, AFK prevention, world queue, some general bug fixes, AI fixes, and quest fixes. Some of these things I encountered myself, so I was glad to see them already within the first week fixed. So this is New World Update 1.0.1. And we obviously are looking forward for them to continue to alleviate queue times. The queue times seem to be getting better as well. First thing they said is they changed the turret projectiles in war from physical projectiles to use hit scan detection. This should help performance in war with fewer objects being spawned in the world. Yo, what's good, Hellfire? Yeah, Omega, you have no idea. You have no idea. AFK prevention, they said here, in an effort to ensure players can't stay AFK, especially in higher population servers, we have made the following adjustments to the AFK prevention system. Added additional AFK prevention to ensure players cannot fool the existing system with simulated mouse movement. Shortened the AFK warning message from 20 minutes to 15 minutes, and shortened the AFK disconnect from 25 to 20 minutes. So see, this is exactly why I didn't think that they need to put their forum post about the AFK thing. I didn't think they needed to do that. It was like, right here is where you include the information about the AFK, right here in a patch list. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, that would have been the way to handle it. World queue. We added a confirmation screen when a player attempts to leave the queue for a world, asking the player to confirm that they're intending to leave the queue. This should help ensure nobody accidentally leaves the queue and misses out on their spot in line. Yeah, Ashen. I got a whole thing there I could go into, but I'm not going to. General bug fixes. Fixed a rare issue causing the interact key to not properly function on various objects in the world. Fix an issue causing the barrel to not appear in the pirate stance emote. Fix an issue where players did not receive coin as a reward from some activities. Fixed a bug where interrupting the fast travel animation could cause the player's character to become stuck inside of a house, right? Okay. Fix an issue in territory standing rewards. Some localized text was missing. My double dip click, John Always, with 2 months of memberships. If you guys haven't done a membership here, consider doing so. If you're maintaining a membership, over there on Presents, that does the same job, and we greatly appreciate it. Fix an issue where players were asked to claim achievement titles multiple times after logging back in, despite already doing it. Fix an issue causing leg animations to freeze. Fix game crashes related to the New World Purple integration. Fixed a rare issue where players could enter a state where they could not be hit by most attacks. Fixed an issue where certain item containers could be looted infinitely. Fixed an issue where the abandoning event notification could sometimes be present after you abandon the event. So we had that one. We had the thing where it would like pop up and it would not go away. Yeah, on the New World, Ashen, that's right. AI fixes that fix an issue causing Pastor Walsh to spawn aggressively at the Walsham point of interest. Yo, what's good, Agent Atwood? I'm good. Let's see, what else do we have here? Fix an issue causing enemies to spawn slower than intended in the Bull Rush Wash point of interest. Fix an issue causing Overseer Zane to respawn slower than intended in Something to Prove quest. We encountered that literally on stream. If you guys remember, I said, this is ridiculous. His spawn rate is too low. They have addressed it. Literally that guy, Overseer Zane. 2 months from Ryan, and a tier 2 at that. Been on vacation for a week, finally back to lurking while I play some Battlefield. Thank you, Ryan, for renewing that membership. Oof, that felt really good. Yeah, good morning, Lord Nightbringer. He would spawn in sub 3 seconds before. Yeah. There was what about Susan the Crocodile? That one's pretty bad too. Fixed an issue where Master Zint could have duplicated respawns at the Canaan Tomb point of interest. They fixed a bunch of quests that I'm not going to read. Just issues with quests. I'll read the quest names. Blessings of Earth, Azoth Fulminate, the Goodwill Squashing quest, the Taste of Revenge, Predator Prey, Great Expectations, Bond's Gambit, Curse of Ebony Hawk, the Expedition into Psychor, Strength of the Earth, Twisted Metamorphosis, and Facets of Light and Darkness. They also said they added journal information about the recommended quest level for players attempting to unlock the second faction rank. That quest was still bugged for me. They didn't address that in these patch notes, so we'll see. We shall see. Okay. Good morning. By the way, great New World streams. I'm just sad that as a Mac user, I cannot try it out yet. The Crocodile's too busy in Maneater wrecking people in the early game. That's right. Yeah, the Scrivener trial mission. Yeah, John, it was bugged for me. It never worked right. I didn't understand what was going on. I could never get it to work right. Mithrax asked, is there a way to show renewal celebration on the screen? No, I don't have a way of showing that yet. Streamlabs will have to come up with something. Yeah, I don't have that. Hope you all watch this guy's new video so your GPUs don't brick. Right. And then, have you encountered any performance issues in relation to GPUs? I have not. I cap my FPS in New World at 60. I cap it at 60. So, yeah. We need 30 more likes for 200 likes. And I appreciate you guys so much. Smashing the like button. If you haven't hit subscribe yet and you enjoy my New World coverage, please do so. If you haven't ordered coffee, maybe you want to get a shirt from 80s Tees. This Skeletor shirt comes from there, and the disc plates behind me. All those commands you can use that show up down here in the corner. You have to be 24, and I still didn't give a pin marker. My buddy had already done it. I was told I had to be 25. You're saying 24? Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about New World fast travel. New World fast travel. Should it be free or easier to use? Yes or no? I'm just curious what you guys think. Should fast travel be free or easier to use than it currently is, right? Even if you're not playing, you understand that there's like a currency. You need the currency to fast travel. You need to recall to an inn or recall to your house if you want to fast travel without the currency, and even that has a cooldown. I'm curious what you guys think about the fast travel in New World. New World coding is causing GPUs to overdraw power, which is partially what's causing the black screens and the brick GPUs. Well, the brick GPUs is something that Master Chief Collection was also doing. The Master Chief Collection was doing that to these cards. These cards are not protecting themselves like they're supposed to, right? Christopher says, yes, easier, but not free. Okay, yeah. I don't necessarily know if I'm in favor of making it free, right? I don't know about that. Fast travel from a shrine should be free with no CD. In recall is fine. Fast traveling from anywhere should cost Azoth. Okay. Ric Flair, woo! Coming in with 2 months. Thank you, Ric Flair, for renewing your membership. Fast travel isn't as bad if your company owns a territory, but it's still annoying. I'm always near max fast travel currency, so it's fine for me. I think it's really cool, really good in its current iteration, especially when you can reset your house cooldown with Azoth more often, cheaper than using shrines. There you go. Yeah, that is one aspect of owning a home that we want to make sure and highlight to people that might not know it yet. Master Ty with a 10 spot. Love the show as always. Sorry about my cat earlier. You're fine, dude. Thank you for the $10 tip in Super Chat. Hardware is supposed to protect itself. It's poor card design when my 2070 does just fine, but 3090s are dying. Right. It's not 100% the cards. Industry experts have reviewed it. It's a combo of poor coding and potential hardware flaws. Right, but here's the thing, Immortal. Here's the thing. If a dummy overclocks his card too far, or a video game has some poor coding in it, these are things that happen, right? These are things that happen, and the card is supposed to protect itself. So when I buy the card, that's an understanding that I have when buying the card, is that this hardware will protect itself. I can't be bothered with checking the coding of every game that I play to ensure this won't happen. I have to trust that if there's weird games out there that do something funky, or maybe I want to do some overclocking, you know, the card's going to protect itself. I'm not going to damage the card. And I think that's a fair expectation in 2021 when you buy a video card. So I'm not saying that the card's just doing it to itself. Yes, the Catalyst is a game that's doing something to take the card beyond what it's supposed to do, right? But it's the card's design is why this is happening. There's been plenty of videos and commentary on the heat sinks and the positioning and why they're overheating. Most of us aren't even max level, so who's to say it gets easier or harder to fast travel as we progress? Right, so here's kind of my position on fast travel at the current moment. New World fast travel, to me, is meant to give you a sense of progress and power fantasy. You will start to feel better at fast traveling, more adept, more equipped, more currency. That's your sense of power in the world growing. You're getting better at it. You know, if you apply some of my tips and tricks, if you make some tools and you get Azoth extraction on them, that's going to be a significant help. Once you start grinding the corrupted areas, I mean, I got to max very quickly grinding those corrupted areas. I'm at 25. So by the time you get to 25, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. You know, you're not going to go crazy, but you're going to use it at the right moments. The issue, I think, with fast travel for a lot of people is that it's like in the early game, it just feels so halting and so restrictive that I think it's frustrating people. They can't see the forest for the trees, right? They don't know that eventually it'll get better. They're just like, my gosh, I would just like to fast travel. I would just like to go back to town. I would just like to fill in the blank. A question from Ashen. Do you feel New World is too restrictive in its travel? Why can't I slide the thing over? Oh, I don't need to. In its travel system in general, I don't understand why the game doesn't have mounts or at least a carriage system. So I can't speak for them. But I can hazard a guess that what they wanted to do, they wanted to avoid a couple of things, okay? They wanted to avoid the feeling of like you don't have to travel anywhere. It's a game that you're meant to sort of go out and explore and feel a sense of wonder, and you're sort of journeying and you're exploring and you're doing all these different things. And that to me is something that they were really, ensuring was in place. They want you to feel that, okay? They want you to feel a sense of wonder and exploratory, empowerment and discovery or whatever. And so I think that's part of the reason why they've done this. They're like, we don't want people. Oh, this is scheduled to hit at 10 a.m. So it's literally going live right now. They don't want people to lose that mystery, right? I also think they've talked about how mounts would cause the map to feel very, very small, right? Mounts would cause the game to feel very, very small. That you would start to feel like it's so fast going everywhere, right? Because truth be told, when I have to travel, 1 to 2 kilometers, at first you're like, oh my gosh, but then you do it and it's like, oh, that's not so bad, that's not so bad. It doesn't take you that long to go to certain locations. It doesn't. It's not that big of a deal. That's why I say, why not make the mounts not too much faster than running? I mean, I could certainly see them doing mounts because it would make the world feel cool, and you could make it to where you're not zipping around, you're slightly faster, Maybe it would help too with water, like a mount that's just tall enough to get through some of the water instead of like going under the water. They're also purposeful in placing resources in certain areas and require more time investment in planning to get to them. Yeah, that's also an element of what's going on. New World harvesting. If you're doing that, I mean, you've got to go to the good spots. If you need iron or silver or whatever. Mounts for weight. Yeah, mounts for weight would be pretty nice. You get out pretty far and suddenly you get encumbered. You want to take everything back. It would be nice to have a mount with you. Buying a house in at least 2 settlements like Windsward and Cutlass Key is the way to go. Plus, the more your inventory bag is full, the higher cost of Azoth is. Travel light. Yeah. That also is extremely helpful. Don't get too heavy. That's right. Mounts would be nice so you can travel and go into your menus at the same time. Yeah, I do find that to be odd. I know why, because you turn and face the camera when you go into your inventory, but it is a bit of a bummer when you're traveling. I can go into all my other menus and check stuff. I can check the map, I can check my character, I can check the company, right? But I go into my inventory and I stop. I stop moving. I'm not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that. What does buying a house do? So buying a house grants you, obviously, a place that you can customize and invest in. Buying a house in New World also, so New World buying a house, 101. If you're going to do it, you're going to pick between 4 tiers, and the cost goes up each time. And the more you pay, the faster the fast travel recall cools down faster, okay? Yeah, we'll be playing some more New World today. It cools down faster, but you pay more property taxes. So weekly property taxes. And now if your faction doesn't own the area, those property taxes can go up. Meaning, maybe they want to charge you a little bit extra. Trophies in a house can give you bonuses. Yeah, that too. So it's definitely something. It's something that we're doing literally today. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to show you guys the ins and the outs because we feel like that's one of the things a lot of people are kind of sleeping on, not really paying attention to. Obviously, it's not super easy to get tons of coin. I'm anxious to get in to see if I've sold anything. I just started selling all my gems. I was like, I'm not really using these gems. I know I'll probably want them later, but right now I need coin because we want to... We want to show off buying a house. So I asked people in the server, hey, can you guys give me some money so I can buy a house? So Vinny and somebody else, maybe Sven, sent me some money. There's also money in the treasury if I need it. I get to play 2 hours every other night. I haven't found an amulet to make a bag. Yeah, making bags is helpful because that gets you a little bit higher. We need to extend the ongoing maintenance early for another hour. Expect worlds to come back online at approximately 8 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for your patience. Did they tweet that out? Where are you getting that, Tech Break? Did they tweet it? Let me see. I've not seen anything. Oh, no, yeah. They tweeted that at 55 minutes ago. We need to extend our ongoing maintenance for another hour and expect worlds to come back online at 8 a.m. Pacific, so 9, 10, 11. So yeah, they're not online right now. Thank you, Tech Break, for letting me know. I was going to log in to check on some things, but it seems like the servers will be down for about another hour or so. So that doesn't hurt us too bad because we're wanting that we usually play around noon, but that means I'm going to definitely try and get in at 11. And, yeah, Silent Warrior sent me some money, I think, too. How do you take over a territory? So if you want to take over a territory, you have to go to the settlement and you have to start doing PvP quests, and you cause, what is it, disruption or something? You have to go and basically fill a meter, and once you fill that meter, before you play... Oh, look at this new thing. So we got a new code of conduct thing that comes in. Protect the community. We won't tolerate harassment, bullying, aggression, insults, threats, or verbal abuse or hate speech. So they don't want you like messing with people in the chat, because we've heard some things. We've heard some, people are being kind of nasty in the chats. It says, do not be prejudiced or demeaning comments about race, gender, sexuality, nationality, ethnicity, religion, age, or disability. Play fair. Using cheats, hacks, bots, or other software or devices that modify the game, exploit glitches, or otherwise give you an unfair advantage is not tolerated. Here, let me show you. Can I go here? Yeah, here. I already read the first one over here. Let me get out of the way. And, yeah, play fair is the one that I just read in the middle. And then we have respect each other. Griefing, defrauding, trolling, win trading, boosting, falsely reporting another player for abuse, or pretending to be someone else diminishes the experience of others. So they're even encouraging people to not grief. They're encouraging people to not grief. What's good, Ashaya? All right, I'm going to accept the code of conduct and then continue. And I'm assuming the servers are down according to their tweet. Let's see here. Go in here. Yeah, there's a little exclamation point. World is under maintenance. Yeah. World is under maintenance, it says right now. So we'll obviously try. Falsely reporting players for standing still. Right. How good is selling healing supplies in New World? Okay, so here's a little tip I'm going to give you, and we're going to log in today and see how well it worked for me. So you can go to the trade market in New World, and you can say, all right, I want to sell my emerald, okay? So I had an emerald, a piece of an emerald or something, and I was like, I'm going to sell this. And when I go to sell it, it shows me other people are selling it there too. And do you want to know what I did every time? I just undercut by $10 every single person. So if the lowest one was 100, I would list mine at 90. Because the most likely way you're going to sell your item is someone's going to go to the trade market and they're going to click lowest. They're going to click the top to go lowest price, and they're just going to snag whatever's cheapest. I mean, that's what I do. I would imagine that's what everybody does. So if you're trying to get rid of stuff, well, you're not going to be able to find me, Cody, because they wouldn't have any reportings on me, because most of the financial reportings were for this year and September. I wouldn't be on there. There wouldn't be any information on me. They wouldn't delete me from it. I wouldn't have any financial reporting for that time period. So that's what I do. I list an item and I just immediately undercut whoever's lowest in that environment, because I figure I could try and sell it. At the price of everybody else, because there'll be like 10 people at 100. Because a lot of people are just mindlessly listing stuff. They just list it for the recommended price. They're like, oh yeah, $100, bam, and they list it. So there'll be like 15 listed at 100, right? And so I listed mine at 90. Why? Well, instead of being in a mix of 15 different people, what's good, Snow? Instead of being in a mix of 15 people, the one I saw was gross pay since 2019 or earlier. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm not in there, Cody, that's weird. That would mean that they, like, I don't know. Maybe look for anybody else that got perma'd. Look for Doc. Let's see if you can find Doc in there. Because if Doc's not in there, well, there's your answer. If me and Doc are both absent from the reporting, then that means a ban takes you out of whatever database that is. It just removes you from that database. That would make sense to me. Why would they keep you in there? Whatever database they got access to, you know what I mean? Would that info even be available? That's what I mean. I don't know. It's been a minute. Hope you're well. Yeah, it has been a minute. It's like you're just gone. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about me not being in there. I'm worried about the whispers, the DMs, the conversations, the colluding of the other people that still have accounts. That's Oh, Doc is on it? Really? That is super weird then. That's really odd that Dr. Disrespect is still in there. You're searching Say No to Rage, no spaces. That's what you're searching. You're not searching for SNTR Presents, are you? You have to search for Say No to Rage, no spaces. That would be super strange if I was just not even listed in the financials. Like, just gone. Just like, no, he's not here. That would point to corruption. They didn't just suspend me. They literally removed me from the website. That's not a ban, right? Oh, he's not on it. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said he was on it. He's not on it. I'm sorry. I'm reading quickly. I was reading Sven saying, "What's good, Lono?" at the same time as reading what you. Like, I do this thing like multi-line reading when I'm reading chat, and it messes me up. So Doc is gone, and I am gone. Who else has been suspended from that platform? Who else? Like Ice Poseidon, maybe. I think he got, but he might have gotten banned prior to 2019. Prior to 2019. If they scrubbed me and Doc, how does that not point to corruption, dude? Why wouldn't we be in there? You pull the financials back to 2019, and me and the two-time are just missing? Come on. The data appears to be from August 2019 and onwards. That's a great window of time too. That's a great window of time. Wish was banned, yeah, but Wish he's back in there. Y'all not active? Robert, it's financial reporting back to August 2019. Why would we not be in there? Why would you scrub us from the database? Yeah, I was banned 2020. Yeah, July of 2020. So, I don't know. Yeah, Indy Fox just lost her partnership. She didn't get permit, I don't think. I think she just lost her partnership. It was like her sixth suspension. So they took her partnership. Don't they have to report their payouts to the Fed if they delete you? Isn't that tax evasion? Very interesting for us to just be missing from a financial report. Very interesting. You're not part of the fiscal reporting years in question? What do you mean? I earned money on that platform in 2019 and in 2020. Why would I not be on the reports from those years? Why? The plot thickens. Why? Why would me and Doc, two people that were seemingly banned for nefarious reasons, are just not on a financial report back to 2019 when we were on the platform earning money in that year? Things that make you go, Things that make you go, Yeah, it was a completely legitimate suspension. Sure it was. Sure. The fact that you were never paid what you were owed for the month. I wasn't paid enough. No. The last time I checked my dashboard, it was like 30, and I only got like 21. I don't know what happened. It's likely a database of active partners, not a report of all payouts. That is entirely possible, Eugene. It is possible that we're not in there because we're not an active partner. That is possible, yeah. It could just remove us not because of anything nefarious, but because, like, hey, this is active partner payout reporting, and we're not in there. But it would be really weird to go back to 2019. We were active partners in 2019. Why would you not have us on the report for that time frame, right? Not saying it's not coincidental, but fiscal year end and January 1 are different measurements for a business. Yeah. But still, I was paid all the way through 2019 into July of 2020. So it could be as simple as it's only active partners, but again, we were active partners in the year 2019. Why would we not be on the report? You know what I mean? You should have grabbed the file mark stuff we don't talk about. If they got communications of staff, that would be killer because, like I said, I believe somebody called in a favor. You know what I mean? You know. The Purple Platform tweeted out during the Facebook outage making fun of their recent leak, how the turntables. Yeah. Tapman isn't an active partner either. Oh, yeah. Is Tim on there? Is Tim? If Tim and Lupo aren't there, then that's what it is. Right? Because they're not currently active partners either. Neither is Harris Heller, right? I thought he'd at least be top 100 or top 50. Tim is there. Ah. So it's not a matter of the fact that we aren't active partners. Because they're not active partners and they're listed. I don't know. I don't know, chat. I don't know, man. I don't know. You guys have always thought that like I was like overly paranoid, and then every time more information comes out, they're like, man, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right, you know? Maybe it was really corrupt. Maybe it was really bad over there. Could be active accounts, not active partners. Sure, it could be that too. But again, we were active accounts in 2019. Why would you not show us for 2019? Does your coffee ship to Germany? I believe we shipped to Germany. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee a little bit ago, about 20 minutes ago. 3 light roast bags to Predator 3A. Thank you so much. Let's get a couple more coffee orders today. If you are ordering outside of the U.S., just be fair warned that shipping is very expensive. We have no control over that. I'm just going to give you a fair warning. What's good, John Hall? Just give it time. This is, in my mind, this is just the beginning. So I don't want, like I said earlier, I don't want people's personal information compromised. I don't want people's safety compromised. But if whispers and colluding and toxic behavior is exposed, all the behavior that I told you guys about, if that behavior is exposed and people are shown for who they are and what they did, then I'm freaking here for it, dude. I'm here for it. You know, up in the stands eating my popcorn. Yeah, you know, I don't want to read too much into it. Like Eugene is saying. But it does seem a little weird that you'd go back to 2019 and people would just be missing because they were banned. I don't know. Is all the leaked information tainted from a legal perspective? I don't know, John. I don't know how that works. Like, if somebody, like, let's just say I'm able to definitively prove business disruption, collusion, targeting, libel, all of that. I mean, I can prove it. Like, black and white prove it. Let's just say I can do that. I don't know if a court, a judge, or another lawyer might say, no, that's inadmissible. That information was acquired through illegal means. It's in view of the public now, but it was acquired through illegal means. You know, is there a way to share a house purchase in New World or just personal? It'd be nice to live with friends and share properties. Yeah, I don't know. Hoping that next week Displate still has that awesome Vader Special Edition one left to buy. Yeah, guys, make sure if you order Displates, use my Displate command or the link below in the description. That applies the discount to anything you order. So, you never knew purple was this lucrative? I mean, I tried to tell people that the money was dumb. I tried to tell people that the money was dumb. Why do you think people are so cutthroat? Why do you think there were background deals that went on, right? Why? Why do you think the guys that run those conferences worked with the guy that got fired? What was his name? Hassan? They worked with him all the time for favor trading and background deals and blocking people from partnership. It happened all the time. Imagine that getting drug into the light finally and definitively proved, so people aren't like, Lono is just a conspiracy theory psychopath. Am I? Because I was standing there when you guys blacklisted people. I was standing there when you said, I'll talk to so-and-so, that person will never be partnered. I was freaking standing there when you said, yeah, we've done this before. I was freaking standing there, drinking a beer, while you ate your dinner. Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I know you said it was a six-figure business, but I didn't know it was that big. See, that's what people don't understand. People are like, well, if you were making that kind of money, why can't you afford a lawyer? It's like, I want you to imagine something, okay? I want you to imagine that you were being paid a handsome salary for an entire year, right? And then in the new year, I promoted you, and you were making really good money, and you bought a house. You started setting money aside for your children, and then all of a sudden, I fired you. What would you do? What would you do? You suddenly don't have any money coming in. What would you do? You're like, well, you had all the money. Yeah. And I'm thinking that I might need it to pay bills because now I don't have my primary income. And the difference in this scenario would be, imagine I hired you and you worked for me for 5 years and your resume was basically like, I'm a digital assistant. Like, what's that? You can't take that resume somewhere else. You know what I mean? My dad made $5 million at one point in his life. He got into litigation with a multi-billion-dollar company. Needless to say, the $5 million didn't last a month. Right. We immediately stopped all purchases. We didn't buy furniture for our home for 9 months. People are like, well, you're making that kind of money. Yeah, I know it's hard when I made in a month what most of them make in a year on that platform. Like, it's hard for them to fathom how destructive, how financially and psychologically destructive it is to suddenly take that from someone, right? I didn't lose a sneaker sponsorship. I lost my primary source of income. Imagine being a publicly professing Christian and being like, this guy should lose his livelihood. The way that he provides for his family, yeah, he should lose his livelihood. He used his position to harm women. Liar. A liar. A bearing false witness liar. I did not use my position. I didn't. All the claims were from like 2017, 2018. You're just a liar. But, you know, look at all these reports. There was no ulterior motive, right? There was no ulterior motive in taking me down. No. People clocking millions of dollars in six-figure incomes, but nobody had ulterior motives. Yeah, we read through the patch notes for 1.0.1. Most of it was like little fixes here and there. Yeah. You didn't have that income for 5 years where you could have saved a large nest egg? No, most of the growth happened to like second half of 2019 and then early 2020. Like I said, it was like, oh wow, this is amazing. This is looking very promising. You know what I mean? Like I said, if I'm that group, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little scared. You hit on a key point. No one wants to rock the cart. It's why tell-alls come in waves. No one wants to bite the hand that feeds them. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Like, no one wants to shake up and lose relationships and connections and all of this, right? Well, unfortunately, this is what has to happen for truth to probably come out. It would have never come out unless somebody finally broke, right? Unless somebody finally, you know, broke and was like, oh, I'll say something, right? You know? Kudos for not living above your means immediately. Yeah, we took it in stages. We bought a very modest home, you know? We bought a very modest home. One that we wouldn't even have space. Like, if we had a baby, we wouldn't even have space for the baby. I mean, we could make it work, but, like, we bought a very modest home. Watches viewer count rise suddenly. Seems they're still doing it. Oh, yeah, they still have people in here. And you better go and run and tell all the people that you report to and the reason that you spy on me and alert your Discord. You better tell them to watch the horizon because the fires are burning. The smoke is rising, all right? There's a reckoning coming. You can't hide this stuff for forever. It eventually comes out. It eventually comes out. Facebook just had their whistleblower. They hear baby. No. We're not having a baby. I'm saying if we did, we don't even have space. We don't even have space for one. We don't want another one. We got two. I'm good with man-to-man defense. We got a happy little family. Like, we're good. We're good. You don't do that solo, otherwise they crush you. You have to go with a group. Same thing happens with games. Good game armor is a real thing, and it protects bad actors. Yeah. Zone defense builds character. Imagine having 6 figures for 10 years, living within your means, but financing student loans, your house, etc. based on that income, and then losing it for a year. And when you do find work, it's a third of what you made. Right. Thankfully, we're not in that scenario. Yeah, we're not. Your baby crazy, you hear it and your ears perk up. Well, one of our mods is pregnant. Radical is. Little boy. They got a little boy on the way. I'm trying to get them to name the baby Lono, but it's not happening. So. I'm trying to get them to name the baby Lono, but they're not doing it. Your daughter's older, she can help. Right. Yeah. Like I said, I like man-to-man defense. We got a happy little family. We just got done doing soccer with the kids. Like, that was a freaking blast, you know? It was really, it's just a good time. We're having a really, really great time. I think one of the hardest things right now is shielding my kids from it. Like, shielding them from the concern of, like, so my daughter just went to the orthodontist, and the orthodontist was like, we've got a lot of advanced, dental care now, and we can do things now that will help significantly when all of her adult teeth come in. And we're literally looking at the money and going, we probably should do it. Well, we'll have to pull from here in order to do it. I wouldn't have had to do that if I still had everything. I wouldn't have had to do that. My kids would have wanted for nothing, right? They would have wanted for nothing. And now I'm in that awkward position of being like, yeah, I think we can swing that. You know what I'm saying? Now, give me 3 or 4 years over here, and hopefully we're not having those questions anymore, right? Hopefully we're not having that sense. Hopefully we're sort of back in a really, really good position. But, like, they've put us in that position. Like, that community, those people, all those liars, like, that's what they did to us. That's what you did to my family. You put me in a position to be like, I'm now spinning cogs in my head about like orthodontist care for my daughter. Like, that's what you did to my family. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think you can go through life acting that way and like shrugging and acting like, no guilt, no remorse. It will come back around. It will come back around. And I'll make sure that it does if I have to. It's only a matter of time before just enough information is made public, just enough publicly viewed information is made public that somebody somewhere will report on it. Somebody somewhere will draw attention to it, right? All it took was banning me from Destiny for Upper Echelon to throw at least one shot at the ship. That was like shot one. There's probably more coming. Does the Connect insurance cover, though? Our insurance is awful. Our insurance is awful, and I don't know how much it covers for orthodontist care. We'll have to contact, I forget who we have for dental. I don't know if it covers orthodont. I think it covers, like, cleanings and basic maintenance. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, orthodontist care is expensive. It's like, wait, what? You know what I mean? It's expensive. You can just start the gameplay when they're done with maintenance. We don't mind. Yeah. Dental insurance is a bit of a bummer, right? So, like I said, orthodontist care usually isn't covered, which you would think that it would be because it prevents more severe things further down the line, like jaw surgery, tooth removal, all of that. We have a family member, one of their sons, they're like having to have a bunch of teeth pulled because his mouth is just a wreck. And they didn't do things when he was younger because maybe they didn't know. I don't know. Like, they've made good advancements, We do this for a year. She'll be a little uncomfortable for a year, but it might save us thousands in the future and save her tons of heartache, and pain. Just to add it here, because of support I get via the channel, I was able to get at least some dental insurance. Right. I need surgery to fix an impacted tooth. Surgery is covered, but the orthodontist care for years after isn't, and I'll never get it fixed. Gosh, that's terrible. It's considered cosmetic. That's such bogus if you think about the science, though. Right? That's bogus when you think about the science. The science of orthodontist care is... It's not cosmetic. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee 5 minutes ago. 5 bags from YouTube Lurker. Holy moly, 5 bags of dark roast. Thank you, YouTube Lurker. You guys that order that coffee, we greatly appreciate that, man. We really, really do. We really, really do. It should be considered preventative. Yeah. We'll keep refreshing the servers here and try to get in. Make sure and vote on our poll about fast travel. I kind of broke down today how fast travel works, and we're kind of just thinking through. Like, I gave some tips and tricks on how to manage it. If you've been having trouble with fast travel, feel free to ask for help in the chat. We can kind of walk you through some of the basic tips and tricks of fast travel in New World. What was the perk that gives you the fast travel currency? It's called Azoth or Azoth. Is it Azoth or Azoth? I might have been saying Azoth. I think it's Azoth, isn't it? Yeah, Azoth. Azoth Extractor is what you want to see on the tools. And the perks for tools is pretty small. So when you put the 15, you use Azoth to do this, by the way, right? You use Azoth to do this. You spend 15 every time you make an iron tool, right? There's flint, iron, and steel. I was just making the iron tools. I didn't have steel. I think I had silver. And so I was like, no. It's going to take too long. So it took about 6 or 7 tries each time. So my skinning knife, my wood hatchet, all of those tools now get Azoth. They all have Azoth Extractor on them. Yeah. While we're on the tea subject, ! Brush. It actually, I need to contact them. They've not been in contact with me in a while, so I don't really want to push it all that much. But yeah, you can get a really nice toothbrush with that promotion code. It's like a $100 toothbrush, and I think it's $70. And then when you apply that code, it ends up being like $35 or something. It's a really great toothbrush. I use it every night myself. It's a weird sponsor to have, like a toothbrush sponsor, but it's great. I need to reach back out to them. I've not heard from them in a while. I'm about 10 levels from crafting star metal tools. Making money tonight. Oh my gosh. Star metal tools. Yeah, the star metal, don't you have to be like level 100 on mining to even hit the star metal rocks? I think that's right. I think you need like level 100 on the mining to get it. Let's see here. Switch accounts. Yeah, it's electric. It's electric. It does a really cool thing. It has like a timer. So like you do the bottom outside, right? Bottom outside, and then it like pulses, and then you switch to bottom inside, and then it pulses, and you go to the top, so that you know you're doing an adequate amount of brushing in each section. So, long-time lurker here. I had my dream job making good money, was abruptly fired without cause, had 2-month-old at my home at the time. Watching how you handled things helped me keep my head up. Well, I'm glad that my hardship helped you through your own, dude. I really am. It was awful. It was not fun. And I know a lot of people, you know, from the outside looking in. There are people who think I could have handled it better. There are people who, you know, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion on what I should have done or how I should have handled it. And so, you know, I did absolutely the best that I could to take care of my family. You know, so I'm guessing you can sell materials in New World. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can sell materials. Yeah, hopefully you're doing okay now, Andrew. Hopefully you're able to bounce back. You know, it's tough, man. We're still kind of waiting for YouTube to like roll out a lot of features because we're rebuilding, and boy oh boy would it be helpful to have some just really good, you know, gifted memberships. And there's a rumor from I think Valky Ray indicated there might be something coming that'll be similar to like the Prime subs on the other site. You know, hindsight's always 20/20 when it's happening. It's pretty nuts. I've looked back and thought like I should have immediately fired back and just contested everything and been like, I'm not going to apologize for this. You know, I've been in therapy for 2 years. This is all ancient history. I've attempted to address it. I've attempted to do the right thing, and nobody will let me. But I tried to do the right thing. I tried to be like that guy, to be like, look, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I've been getting help, and nobody cared to hear that. You know. It was like once I had a fuller picture of what was going on, it was like, well, I have to fight back now, you know. In the heat of the moment, you think, oh my gosh, like you're so terrified. You just do what you think in the moment might stop it. You're desperate for it to stop. So like, you know, both apology videos were made in desperation. They weren't really sincere. I was trying to say the right things. You know, because you're literally desperate to put the fires out. Like, you'll burn your hands trying to put a fire out on something valuable because you're so desperate to stop it. Like, you will literally hurt yourself, you know, trying to stop something like that. You know, so it's a bummer that I wasn't like immediately in a better headspace. If I'd have had a guy like Creature in my ear, you know, he'd have been like, don't say anything. Let's develop an attack plan here. You know, you almost need somebody like that to ground you when that happens. I had nothing. I had like my wife and some mods that were aware that it was always a potential that people were going to try to hurt me. You know. Also, just like we're asking for, YouTube says comment publicly as Ginger Prime. So I'm betting we'll see people get a handle for their name when chatting live. Yeah, hopefully. So, yeah, hopefully. I'm good now. Found a higher paying job after like 3 months. It was a scary 3 months though. Man, isn't that funny how like it can be so dark and then all of a sudden light breaks, you know? I feel like I've been in your 3-month window for like a year and a half. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. My back is weary, but I feel like we're turning the corner. We feel like New World is kind of offering us maybe something that we can orbit around and do something special with, and you know, and also, you know, hopefully YouTube really starts to ramp up some of the things we think that would really, really help. My favorite heavy weapon in New World, I don't use any of the heavy weapons. I right now am really loving running a spear with a healing staff. That's been really, really fun. You know, that's been really, really fun. It's easy to see this trending upwards over time. I sure hope so, Darth. I sure hope so. I got to tell you, I was thinking about this last night when I was like watching TV with my wife, and it's like there's a big difference when you take things in phases. So like when I was building the channel on Purple, we didn't have a house. Oh, the brush code's invalid now. Oh gosh, I'll have to reach out. You know, and we just had a baby, and so like risk was really low. I had my small business, and so like I was able to kind of grow it where I was in life, right? And then it got to a pretty good point, and then we had another baby, and money was pretty good. And the money got a little bit better, and then we started to get sponsors and everything else. And then I was able to buy a very nice vehicle for my family. I wanted to do that before we got a house. I want to get them a nice, safe vehicle. They're doing all these things. They're going to the grocery store and the library, and they were like driving around in like my wife's little Focus. And I was like, I want to get them a nice, safe vehicle. Got that, and the money was so good. We paid that thing off in like 6 months. Yeah, I was streaming a nasty dungeon basement for 5 years, and then as things turned that corner, we were like, oh, let's buy a house. So I don't think people realize just how devastating it is to like invest 5 years and take things in stages and get to that point and like buy a house. I don't think anybody cares or because they made up their mind about me, but I don't think they will ever realize just how wicked what it is that they did to me and my family. Like I truly don't realize I don't think they realized how wicked they were. Nobody reached out to be like, you know, hey, you know, we feel like you need to kind of answer for some of this. Nobody talked to me, you know, nobody would let me make amends. Nobody would let me apologize, because some of these people, I didn't even know that I had upset them because we were friends, you know. I didn't know that 4 years ago that joke bothered you because you continue to be friends with me. So it's like I was completely blindsided. And then they just they brigaded for my destruction. It was like, no, take his platform, take his income, take everything. And it was just like, why? Like, I don't understand. You go back and look at the claims, and it's like, is that justice? Like complete financial ruin, psychological destruction of my children's future. Like, you think that's appropriate for like comments? Like I don't know. It's just wicked, man. It's wickedness. It's darkness. It's driven by hatred and jealousy and covetousness. It wasn't driven by like a sense of right and wrong and righteousness. It's just wicked, you know. There's not another word for it. It really isn't. Like, the more I've looked back on it, the more I'm like, you know, if just one person would have come to me, I'd have been like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. I've been in therapy for 2 years. Like, I have my own demons I'm dealing with. I have my own, you know, stuff that I've discovered it made me act socially awkward. It made me act strange. Like, can we make amends here? I mean, no one ever gave me that opportunity. It was just like a private campaign. What happened with the investigations? I mean, the investigations got put on hold because the people that were doing it they had life things come up, and you know. So, new to the channel, but move forward. Stop looking back. New day, new problems. Yeah, no. And that's the thing. I was thinking about it last night. To circle back, what I was thinking about last night it's just such a different mindset to create content and to think about, like, I have to make money. Like, that was never what I was doing back then. Does that make sense? I was listening to some professors talk about cancel culture. It's scary in light of just thought, right? Now people get points for trying to take down people. Right. Yeah, I heard about it, Vapor. That's why we're kind of talking about it. Even if everything that happened was true, then you were wrong, but the punishment was ridiculous, borderline criminal. Well, call it what it was. What they did to me was a cybercrime. Like, if you're really angry at a business and you go burn it down and torch their database and their customers and you make them lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, that would be considered criminal. That's a crime. They just did it in the digital realm. It's a cybercrime. It was an act of cyber terrorism against me. It wasn't just like a tweet. It was a colluded, concerted, and organized attack. And it should be, public accusations should just be illegal. They should not be legal. You should have to go through the proper processes because so many people lied and ruined people. Like, that should be criminal. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. You shouldn't be allowed to immediately put somebody in financial undue harm with a tweet. That should be illegal. That should be deleted. It should be prosecuted. You should have to go through a legal process. Sign an affidavit under penalty of perjury if you're making claims about another person. These are legal claims that you're making. You should have to go through a legal process. It's that simple. It is. That needs to be put in place. You did the equivalent of sending a wink emoji, right? 15 minutes till servers are back on. Yeah. I'm sitting in the game ready to refresh and try to jump in. Do you think if you had access to the other game and allowed back on purple, you would go? We would analyze a lot before doing any of that. We would analyze a lot. The main reason we're talking about it is, I'm obviously concerned for people's personal information and any harm and danger people might be in because of the purple thing. Because of the purple thing, the hack. But I'm also thinking, like, a lot of stuff will get drug into the light and expose bad people, and I hope that aspect happens. I obviously don't want anybody's private and personal and sensitive information to be exposed. That's dangerous. That is not to be celebrated or seen as a good thing. That's a dangerous thing. That's anarchy. But we'll see. Glad you're out here. Been very inspiring for me. New foundations are a blessing. I appreciate it. Listen, I know everyone's at a different place in life, right? Everyone's at a different place in life. And no, you cannot escape hardship. You cannot escape suffering. You can't get away from it. It will come for you. Loss of a job, right? Loss of a relationship, loss of family members to death, a bad report from the doctor. Okay? Suffering will come for you. It'll knock on the door sometime, And when it does, if the way I've walked through what I had to walk through helps you in any way, if you feel like you can come to this community and have a resource, then I guess I would take that as like a good thing that's come out of it. Like, something meant for evil can turn into good. I believe that. I do. I believe that. And, I've written some of the things down you've said to remember for myself. You should write a book. I've thought about it. I've thought about writing a book because it's such a unique thing to be viewed by the public and to be viewed in an inaccurate and false way. And for that to be something that has to be then endured and then carried, right? Because if you think about the next generation that's coming behind us, they live in this, I guess you would call it like a war zone. That's where they live, right? it's nipping some people on the heels. Like, they just started using Twitter at just the right time that it's hurting their potential in Hollywood or, politics or whatever. New World won't be up until 1 p.m. Eastern now? Okay. We're probably going to have to deviate then and do Battlefield instead. That's too late in the day. If they had to extend maintenance that much. Did they tweet again? Let's see. Let's check their official Twitter account here. 1 minute ago. Unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties and need to extend the maintenance for 2 more hours. Yeah, we apologize. Yeah, I was supposed to come back on at 11, so that means it's coming back on 1 p.m. Eastern. So we will, yeah. Looks like today was a good day to go to the office since New World's down. Didn't even realize it was going to be. Yeah, they pushed out a patch, and now they're doing maintenance. So, yeah. You should do a documentary until you get the answers, a 10-part series. I've thought about doing I thought about doing like a long part series and then turn that long part series into a book just about what it was like in the early days, getting into content creation, the mistakes that I made, the behavioral patterns and problems that I was dealing with at the time that kind of set me up as an easy target. And then talk about everything that happened, like what it did to me, my wife, what it did to my family, what it did to, the people around me. We had people that we were, going to start to help with stuff. We were looking at different financial things we could do for others, and obviously you can't do that when you lose everything. And so it's, I think the problem is that I really, really struggle with being like self-referential and self-absorbed and narcissistic. And so it would really, really have to be carefully written and carefully created, because I wouldn't want it to be about like, it would be about me, but like I would want it to be more about like, this is the truth. This is what you do to people when you do this sort of thing. And maybe, it would make some people, humanize me a little bit. Like, he's a human being. His wife and his kids, they're human beings. Like, you guys mercilessly, shredded this guy. Like, you didn't give him a chance over the most minor of things. So, yeah, I've thought about it a lot. It weighs pretty heavy. It weighs pretty heavy on me. I get really preoccupied with it. Just this morning when I sat down to start the stream, my heart palpitations were acting up. Just because, like, hope glimmering, any hope of vindication, any hope of, like, justice can really, really, affect me in my day. Because you really pine for it. You really want it. When a wrong has been done to you, and deep down that it's unjust, it's so hard not to become sort of preoccupied with the injustice and the imbalance. It feels like the universe is imbalanced, No, nobody close to me acted any different, Abe. No. I think anybody that was around me and knew me and also knew my journey and knew what had happened, in my personal life with my faith and then my therapy and now new revelations with what I believe and stuff. I don't think any of them would have thought, oh my gosh, he's a danger. And my mentor, one of my mentors, I have a therapist, and then the therapy now with over 3 years now, 3.5 years. And I have a mentor, a pastor that I meet with pretty regularly, and it's been really, really helpful, I think, to attack it from like multiple angles, because there's a psychological angle to it of like unhelpful patterns of, you know, desire for control, and desire for retribution and vengeance. But then you have to release that and trust that it's not in my hands. And the hands that I believe it's in, I wouldn't want to be in those hands as and be guilty. So and it's really, really hard to not think, and this guy looked at everything. He looked at all the claims and all the accusations, and he was like, you know, he's like, it's not, you weren't behaving in a wise way. You weren't behaving in a controlled way. You were behaving as the old man. And, you know, that foolishness can sometimes come at a cost. And I think that's part of the challenge, is slicing it so that it doesn't turn into shame, and that it doesn't turn into like a pity party and a self-blame. But at the same time, there's got to be ownership there, right? And ownership of being a fool, you know, doesn't always mean that you're going to get treated as foolish as you were, you know? Like, if you're foolish with your money, you may find yourself in like a bit of a pinch, and you're like, oof, I was a little foolish with my money. If you're a little foolish with your money and you end up in complete and utter financial ruin, and it's really undeserved and really unfair, it's still like, you have to slice that, right? Like, it's a consequence of your foolishness. It's a consequence of your foolishness, and yet it's also unjust. That, I think, is hard to square. That's difficult to keep in balance, to not get overwhelmed with shame and blame, and, you know, that's been one of the most hurtful aspects of it. With your faith, is this a punishment or a discipline? It's something that works for my good, even if I don't like it. It's been refining. It's been refining. A fire and a forge has a refining and a strengthening effect on metal and on gold. And I would never credit them with this. Okay? Thank you for the $5 tip, Insomniac. If you still had the 6-figure income, would you have another baby? No, I don't think so. I think we were still happy with 2. Money's not playing a part in the baby decision. I would never give them credit for this, because they're not good people. They don't deserve credit for this. But somebody can do something evil and wicked to you, and it can help you become a better version of yourself. Like, I know I'm in a better place. I'm a better person. I'm a better man and husband and father than I would have been. Having things taken from you is purifying, and it grants a lot of clarity. It grants a lot of clarity. And I think the real challenge now is being better in those avenues, and yet I just want to provide for them. Like, the weight is so heavy and big to provide. And I have to release that. I have to say, I don't have control over that, man. If this is where we're supposed to go, if this is what's supposed to happen, if this is where income is supposed to be, I have to accept that. And I have to be content. I have to be content with that. And that I think is challenging. You know, it's made me better. It's made me stronger. It's made our marriage stronger. It's made me cherish things in a more potent way. You know, time with the kids. You know, the weekend, all that. It's great. It's really, really great. And in the midst of all of that, there's just there's a massive amount of fear, anxiety, and pressure of like, I have to provide. That's my responsibility. You know, I look at my kids, I look at my daughter, I look at an orthodontist projected bill, and I'm thinking, like, gotta just step out and trust, and you know, yeah, step out and just trust it and release it and say, you know, I don't have control over this. I have to accept the things I can't control. I have to live life on life's terms. And it's so, my gosh, it's so easy to say all those things, right? They can almost become like platitudinous, and they can become empty and hollow and meaningless. They're just things that people say. Man, to walk that and live that that's daily. That's daily. It's freaking hard, bro. It's really freaking hard. To walk in accordance to things that you know are true is not easy. It isn't. Very easy to give over to the fear and the anxiety and the anger. Oh boy, the anger, it's there. It's hot. That fire of anger it's consuming, man. It'll corrupt anything that you're trying to do. I make six figures now, and I still get anxiety that the bottom will fall out. Yeah. Yep. So I would never say that like I'm grateful or thankful, but I can see a thread of goodness woven. I can see a thread of goodness woven throughout the entire tapestry of what happened. It was awful, it was dark, and yet there's a thread running through all of it that has worked for my good, and has helped me be better and stronger and live more honestly. Yeah. And trying to remember that, I think, is really, really hard. Trying to remember that is really, really hard when there's very real, fear and very real, very real loss. It's really, really hard, I think, to remember that I'm okay. The family's okay. I remember when everything happened, my therapist was like, "You're going to be okay. We don't know what okay looks like, but you are going to be okay." And yeah. So if the coverage in the channel and New World and all the stuff that we're working on, if it yields a return, great. Great. It's not in my hands, right? It's not in my hands. And what I've been trying to do every day now is release it and say, it's not in my hands. I'm going to do as excellent a job as I can and be excellent to others, and hope that is honored and that the return is good. So, you know what turned out more than okay? Ray Just Roast Coffee. Yes, that is correct. Hey, somebody ordered some like a half an hour ago. I'm so sorry for not calling this out. Dark Seraphim ordered a light bag and a dark bag. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. What are you talking about? Everything is in your hands. You're in control? No. That's not how life works. No. My situation's turned around. I'm really lucky to have people in my life, and we got some new music out of it all. Oh, that is some of the, I usually think that's some of the best music. That's some of the best music. Yeah. No, everything is not in my hands. I'm not in control. I'm not in control of how many people find the channel, like the channel, subscribe, support, pay, how many people order coffee. I'm not in control of the algorithm. I'm not in control of YouTube. I'm not in control of how many hundreds of thousands of people are going to play New World and like it, hate it, are going to go to YouTube for coverage, gameplay, are going to consider me a good authority on the game. I'm not in control of what games launch, when they launch, how they launch. I'm not in control of any of that. You have to analyze the things in front of you, and you've got to release what is not in your control, because you will actually make yourself sick with worry and anxiety. You will make yourself crazy trying to wrestle the world to the ground. You can't do it. You can't. You can't. You're selling cars, cell phones, or running a business that does like janitorial services. You have no control over any of the things that come your way. You can only do your best. You can sweep the street and sell a car to the best of your ability, and that's all you're in control of. The customers might not come. The industry could get thrown into upheaval. All of your clients could go with a different company, and you get undercut, and you lose a big chunk of your client list. You're not in control of any of that. You're not in control of any of that. Hearing bad things about the beta. I played one game and didn't have any issues. It looked beautiful on the Xbox Series X. It looked beautiful. And we put the first 30 minutes up already over on Presents. The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's just hubris, man. That's hubris to think that you can do that. You can manifest the future or something. As a car dealer, I'm in control. If I'm losing customers and it's clear my marketing hasn't been on point, I've not been doing a good job of the cars, etc. No. You're not in control of everything. You are not. You're not in control. If a competitor pops up down the street and they can undercut you on price because they're a big chain, right? And they can undercut you on price, and it's not feasible for your business to lower your prices. If you lower your prices, you murder your margins, right? You're not in control of that. You're not. Big chain could open up right down the road from you and murder your bottom line. You're not in any control of that at all. The game can play on Xbox. It looked amazing on my Xbox Series X. I've got gameplay up right now on my other channel. Yeah, you can't control fluctuations in the market. That's exactly right. Like, imagine being imagine owning a small business that is a restaurant, and then 2020 happens, right? 2020 happens, and no one's coming in to eat, and you are losing money just hand over fist. You had no control over that. No control over that. I know people personally who basically lost their business in 2020, and they had no control. They couldn't stop it. A flood could come in and ruin your property, ruin your crops. You have no control over that. You just gotta take it as it comes, man. You literally just have to accept the things that are out of your control. You know what I mean? I get that saying that is nice sounding, but it's way more valuable to expect things will happen outside of your plan. That's exactly right. Like, it's if you live life forward facing, you know there are things that are out of your control. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That's exactly right. That is the reason that they use that in AA is because they're trying to put that person in a lane that is just reality. You want to ground them in reality. You have to tether that person to something concrete. And they do the whole appeal to a higher power thing, and that's kind of where that leads. But at the same time, that as a foundation is meant to ground them so that they live life on life's terms. And that's like step one of breaking a bad cycle. My man Ratchet just upgraded his membership to tier 4. Holy moly, that's so generous. Thank you very much. A lot of new subs today. Obviously, we're not talking New World. There's the vibe today is a little bit more somber and serious, but yeah, it's my show. We do a talk show Monday through Friday about gaming and gaming news, and we've been doing a lot of New World coverage. So if you are new, you click subscribe, you click like. We greatly appreciate that. We will be doing New World gameplay later this afternoon once the servers come back online. In between that, we will be probably having to play Battlefield Beta, because in about an hour, we don't like these morning talk shows to run beyond 3 hours, and we got about an hour left of that. So we can keep up the conversation. We can talk New World. If you've got questions about fast travel, we have tips and tricks about fast travel. Take the poll at the top of chat. Hit subscribe if you enjoy the vibe. I am a Safe for Work broadcaster. If you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button, use the join command, or use any of the commands down in the corner. Order some of the coffee that my lovely family ships to you. You're basically supporting a side business that we run, Rageous Roast Coffee. We took it back. It's ours now. You are not supporting some sponsor. For every instance you're in control of, there are 10 other instances that you aren't in control of. Right. Can't change that I like Rageous Roast. I accept that. Leveled up New World gameplay looks insane. Yeah, it gets a little wild, right? Like Bruce Lee once said, empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Right. Yeah. Have I watched What If? I think we watched 2, maybe 3? Maybe 3. Yeah. Is New World keyboard and mouse, or will it work well with a controller? We are good friends with, and I was recently on a podcast with Ginger Prime. If you go to YouTube and you look for Ginger Prime New World controller, you'll probably find his guide. He has a guide on how to use a controller in the game. I just gave up and went mouse and keyboard. I think it flows better mouse and keyboard. I think combat's more fluid mouse and keyboard, but I know that's just a big ask for some people. And so we are obviously, we are obviously open. We are obviously open to people using mousing. I'm sorry. We're open to people using controller. I'm not like against controller. Sorry. I was just checking on some things here. How does the tier system work for crafting in New World? There is a tier system at the table that determines what you can make. There's your own personal tier system that determines what you can make. So yes, that is something you have to be aware of, right? Do you still do Q&A stuff with the new talk format? The commands still work. I have to create a way to capture in this scene, and I've just not done it yet. Because typically I've had here. I can still do it here. I can still do it if you guys want. If you guys want to have some featured comments, we have. Yeah, like here's Sven's. Here's Sven's. I think fast travel shouldn't cost Azoth, and I'd rather see it on a cooldown, like recalling to inns. There's plenty of places that the game is punishing already. Things like fast travel should not be one of them. So that's Sven's opinion on the topic today. And to be quite honest, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying. I don't. I think it's more harshly felt in the early game, right? I think it's more harshly felt in the early game. So once you get a little bit later and the Azoth's flowing and you're doing more of the, once you're 25 and up, you should have plenty of Azoth, like, at all times, right? If you're doing quests, you should have Azoth. I think it's rough in the beginning because it's based on how far you want to travel. It's based on how heavy you are, you know, like how much weight you're carrying or whatever. So what about making respecs free? Maybe only when you're in a town or something? Yeah, the problem... Okay, so, yeah, respecking is another really, really good subject. The problem with making respecking free is that with the way this game works, you could conceivably be in a dungeon, okay, and as a point, okay, I could spec into DPS and healing, okay, and I could go into the dungeon and help with DPS. And then as things get harder, I could be like, all right, hang on, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Respec into healing and just run the staff. And so, do you understand what I'm saying? Let me give you a more tangible example as to how this could be bad. Right now, I'm running spear and a healing staff. And so that splits my specking. Does that make sense? It splits my specking. So they're not both a 10. It's like a 5 and a 5 or a 6 and a 4. Okay? Of my available skill points and all of that. Okay. Free but on a timer then. Okay, I could see that. That would solve the problem that you know that I'm driving at. Because I could go into this dungeon, respec, and make my spear insanely stronger and way more damage output. And then when it's time for me to take the role of healer, respec again, and now my staff is much stronger. Instead of feeling the actual pain and the tension and the trade pain of saying, well, no, if I want this to be stronger here, I got to sacrifice some points over here. If respecking is free, then you eliminate that to a certain degree. Moosh says, there's nothing wrong with a fast travel system. In my opinion, it works fine. It should cost something and definitely not be on a cooldown. I think, this is what I think. I agree with what Moosh is saying. If you follow some of the basic tips and tricks that I've outlined this morning, it makes it less painful. And as soon as you hit level 25, fast travel is just not even on your mind anymore. You probably own a house. Okay? You've traveled to a lot of different places. If you're doing the corruption stuff or the dungeon or the quests, I'm constantly being told, you're close to the Azoth. You're close to the Azoth cap. You're close to the Azoth cap. Can you respec you can respec in a dungeon? Yeah, you just go into your menu and do it. I guess I could lock it in a dungeon, Eugene. I guess. Instead of charging money, make it free, and then just lock it in a dungeon or something. I don't know. I'm not even level 25 and my Azoth is maxed out all the time. Yeah, if you're doing quests and side quests, you shouldn't have really a problem with Azoth. The only time I started running out of Azoth is when I focused only on my faction stuff or the town stuff. The town board and the faction stuff, if you're just doing that and fast traveling, well, then you're going to bleed yourself pretty quickly of Azoth, right? You're going to bleed yourself pretty quickly. But if you're also doing quests and side quests and turning them in, then the Azoth will be flowing. If you do what I said about like crafting your tools until you get Azoth Extractor, I mean, you should just have a constant steady flow of Azoth. Getting it from quests, getting it from side quests, getting it from like almost every other tree, rock, or animal that you skin, right? You're only getting one every time that procs, but I mean, that starts to add up. You play for a couple hours, you know. Once you get a house, fast travel becomes more open. You can check in at the inn at the place you're leveling, and then you also have your home. That's right. Be strategic. If you go to a town and you grab every quest, side quest, bounty from the town board, bounty from the faction, you grab all of that. Check in at the inn, so that when you're done doing it all, you can recall to the inn. That was the mistake I made yesterday. I went and ran all this stuff, and I wasn't checked in at the inn, so I had to hoof it back to town. Wasn't a big deal, traveling anywhere from 500 meters to 900 meters isn't that bad. It's not that bad, right? If you're just focusing on town and faction, then take all of them, go grind them, and you can recall to the inn or just walk back. That's right. what they're doing is they want you to be intelligent about your fast travel. I don't think they do the greatest job educating people on it, but that's a way that MMOs kind of operate. Self-discovery, experimentation. Well, that wasn't very efficient. This will be more efficient, right? Fast travel's cheaper in territories your faction owns, and that can be a pain point if your faction doesn't own a lot of areas. If you're like me and your server is mostly green and you're purple, it can be a bit of a downer. It can be a bit of a downer. But that's the way that it goes. That's the way that it goes. I think when I play Battlefield today, I think I'm going to play on PC and mouse and keyboard. I'm not kidding you. I tried playing on Xbox and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so imprecise. I hated it. I was missing easy kills, right? I agree they could explain it a little bit better, but that's MMOs for you. I've got two ways of talking about this, Moosh. By the way, welcome. I think you're kind of new today, and I appreciate new folks coming in and talking. I have two ways of thinking about this. Number one, I don't like people saying that, well, it's an MMO. That's how MMOs are. I don't like that. Don't excuse everything with that. That's not a blank check. Well, that's what other MMOs do. No. When I was complaining about Master Zane's spawn rate, clearly New World agreed with me. They adjusted his spawn rate, right? They adjusted his spawn rate. Don't just tell me, well, that's how MMOs are, right? At the same time, there are things in an MMO that you just kind of have to accept. The world is big. Progress is slow. You have to kind of educate yourself. You have to kind of read and study and experiment a little bit. Maybe look up a YouTube video, right? I'm not going to excuse a lack of information with being like, well, it's an MMO. It's an MMO. Sometimes I do think you have to say, well, we could have been a bit better about information. That's not a huge criticism. But for me to be like, why not tell people, hey, here's some bullet points on fast travel. You're going to be traveling and walking and doing lots of things, and all of these things are going to impact your fast travel. Just little bullet points. I don't think that would have hurt. I think that's well within the realm of an MMO. Like you're drinking from a fire hose. A little bit pops up, bing. Azoth is used to fast travel. You can recall to an inn once an hour. So be mindful about checking in at an inn if you're going to be doing a lot of quests in a given settlement. My auto run broke in New World last night. It was awful. Oh. Are you starting to like mouse and keyboard more now? Mouse and keyboard on Battlefield sounds like a turning point. I still love controller myself. Well, I loved mouse and keyboard in Fortnite. I loved mouse and keyboard in Apex. I loved mouse and keyboard in Valorant. When I want to be precise, I want mouse and keyboard. Battlefield, it was so tight. Like I felt like I couldn't put my iron sight on the guy. In the dead zone in the controller, I was shooting around people. I was like, come on! Like I know if I have a mouse, I'm not going to do that. And playing mouse and keyboard in New World, it just made me pine for that. I was like, just give me a mouse. What is this crap? So for me, a controller in the game that we used to play got the job done. Why? Because I'm shooting mindless ads and not people. And the aim assist is pretty good in that game. Pretty high. So aim assist can kind of smooth things over, right? Battlefield's aim assist was a little low, so I felt a little tight. I felt a little dead zone. Like I was like, I can't get the crosshair. I can't get the iron sights on people. Now I know mouse and keyboard gonna be a little bit sweatier in the Battlefield realm, but at least I'll know I can put the gun on the guy, and hopefully put him down. Hopefully put him in the dirt. Hopefully give you guys some decent gameplay. Because that 30-minute video over there on my other channel, it's not that great. I have a rough time in that video. I'm a little frustrated at a couple points. I'm like, I want anti-tank, but then it gives me an awful rifle, and I didn't know I could change the rifle, and then I finally figure it out. That's one of the... I mentioned it multiple times in that Battlefield video. It's really hard to play Battlefield just like by yourself. It's not designed for that. If you just pick it up and boot it up, you're going to have a hard time. It's meant to boot up with buds in a squad. Now, there are some people that can play solo, and they jump in a jet, they jump in a helicopter, they get on a rooftop and snipe. And they're fine to do that. Now, how much does that help? I don't know. What game mode did you play? There's only one game mode available in the beta. It's All Out War Conquest, I think. That's the only one you could play. And I struggle in those game modes feeling like I'm doing anything. I capture a couple points, shoot a couple people. You know? Nice Skeletor shirt, if I'm honest. I'm kind of jelly if I'm being honest. This is from, we're partnered with 80s Tees. So be sure to use the shirt command, and then you can use code Lono and you can get like 30% off any shirts over there. They got a great 80s cartoon collection, 80s TV shows. They've even got 90s stuff. They've got video game stuff. Yeah. Very, very dope site. Does this print on the back? No, this is only printed on the front. Yeah, but I love all over prints. I also have a He-Man one like this. I usually play Battlefield solo. I find that a lot of the people play the objective, and that helps. I started sticking with people, and it went a little bit better, but sticking with people can be tough. Because you spawn, and they're in the middle of a fight, and then all of a sudden you're getting blown up by a helicopter, and you're like, well, that was lame. Like, what? Yeah. Tim. I got 40 hours on New World. I don't feel like logging in anymore. Gonna 100% buy it again if they make a console version. Is the code a one-time use? No, anytime you go there, please use code Lono. Our code usage on 80s Tees has dropped way down. We were getting like 100 plus uses a month, and now we're getting anywhere from like 10 to 15. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if they changed their internal tracking and I'm not getting credit. I don't know if a lot of people have just diverted their monthly spending to coffee instead. It doesn't matter to me. If you're supporting with a coffee purchase instead of t-shirt or disc plates or whatever, that's totally fine. But the 80s Tees code usage just dropped like a rock. So, yeah, 80s Tees can be expensive. It's very high, everything's very high quality print, and everything is officially licensed. So, doesn't Battlefield let you spawn with your squad if they're still alive? Yeah, and I was doing that, and it helped sometimes, but other times it can be frustrating. Like, they'd just be up on a rooftop not doing anything, you know? And then you're like, okay, you know, they're just up shooting at people. And it's like, you're not playing the objective, you're just sitting on a rooftop, you know? You bought a Batman shirt and it was like $65. Whew. I wonder if they raised their prices and that's what drove down code uses or something. I don't know. Won't be buying 80s Tees too often. I'm not worried about it. It was just really, really nice. I mean, it was, I'm not going to lie to you. In the midst of everything happening and our, you know, losing money every month on the other channel, and we're still in a decline, it was nice to have a sponsor in the back saying, you know, oh, hey, good job. You know, you had 100 some odd code usages. And then in the midst of everything that happened, all of a sudden having him be like, dude, did something happen? You know, your code usage is way down. And I was like, it's probably because everything else is down. Like, we're not getting the impressions and the views that we did. You know what I mean? Time to go grind. Thanks for the hangs. Keep it chill. Peace. All right, see ya. Yeah, a lot of people treat me like radio. I'm safe for work. They throw me on in the background. They just kind of listen while they play and they grind. Tees are just too pricey. I don't really wear graphic tees a whole lot. No. I'm not worried about anybody who isn't. It's just we were getting a very steady flow of code usage and it just kind of stopped. More than likely, it was just a slow decline from, you know, when you're streaming your token game and getting 150 to 200,000 impressions a day and you're getting 10 to 20,000 views a day, that's going to translate into people using the code and going, oh, that's a dope shirt. But when you're getting like a third and a fourth of that, we're going to get a third and a fourth of the code usages. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you're doing tier 2s, if you're doing members and buying coffee, that matters more to me than buying t-shirts. The coffee is regular, and there's reasons to reorder, and the memberships are very, very helpful. So I'm not panicking. I'm just letting people know, hey, just remember to use the code. You know, make sure you're not forgetting. Yeah. Membership double dipping, coffee orders, all that's way more important. I think we focus more on the coffee and memberships anyway, because we deep down we know like that's better for me and the family. And so I think maybe we mention the t-shirts way less, and I think that also is translating as well. And so it's not a big deal. I need to subscribe and save for the Rageous Roast. Yeah, we're looking into that. It's not easy to set up. It's not that easy to set up. Okay. Was hoping New World would have enough break from traditional MMO combat that I'd be interested, but nope. I don't know, Eugene. I really, really am enjoying running around with a spear. Like, I really like it. I jump and stun, and then I hit him with something else, and then I start doing heavy attacks. Like, I don't know, I feel like my spear is pretty nice. I think the only thing I don't like is that weapon switching cannot be button queued. I would love it if they would change that. Because I'd like to, like, do all my stuff with my healing staff and then queue a weapon switch, so that once I'm done doing that, I get out my spear. I would love for them to change that. Not being able to button queue a weapon swap, I find very frustrating when you're in a dungeon or when you're in intense combat. Other than that, how long is the downtime? It was supposed to be back up 30 minutes ago. It's going to be down for about another hour and a half. I am sorry to report that to you. I would not bet on it coming back up when they said either. I watched you play. I watched 50 versus 50 battles, and it still looks like basic WoW combat with a little extra mobility. Will you check out Far Cry 6? Yes. There's no quick swap. It swaps pretty quickly, but you can't queue it, right? You can't queue it. So if I'm actively doing things with my healing staff and then I press the number 1 key to switch to my spear, it doesn't do it. I have to wait until I'm done doing the stuff with the healing staff and I get to like a resting position, and then I can switch my weapon. I'm not a fan of that. I'm okay with waiting to swap the weapon until I'm done doing stuff. Let me queue it. Button queue meaning I go click, click, switch weapons. And my guy goes, duh, switch weapons. Instead of click, click, wait, switch weapons. There's a difference. You have to stop attacking or doing anything to be able to swap. It's annoying. Yeah, just let me button queue. I'm fine that you make me wait for the animations to finish. That's fair. I'm okay with that. I don't need to animation cancel a spell like, oh, dude, like I don't need to interrupt that. Let it finish, right? And, yeah, you're not going to be able, I forgot to tell you, Moosh, you're not going to be able to grind New World for about another hour and a half. So download the patch, but the servers are down for another hour and a half. I don't need to interrupt the animation. I just want to queue a button like, hey, when you're done with that, swap the weapon. Just let me button queue it. I don't need to interrupt the animation. That's fair. It's a healing cast. Like I'm casting like a heal. I gotta wait for the animation to finish. The animation lock when trying to hot swap mid-fight is kind of annoying. Yeah. And again, I think it's fair if I want to cast a heal on you or do like heave ho and I put a leaf blow and I put a thing on the ground. I put a thing on the ground. It's okay to finish the animation and then swap. But like if I can queue it, it would feel more fluid. It would feel more fluid. So yeah. That's all. There's always season 2. Yeah. Very clever, Xbox. Very clever. Yeah. Very clever, because it did make me think of PlayStation. You're a healer? I run spear healer. Yes. I would say I'm a pretty good healer. I ran with some guys yesterday, and I went healer because we were a little under leveled. We ran a 35, and none of us were at 35 on a corruption. And when I went full healer, we did okay. When I was trying to bounce between healing and DPS, we were having a hard time. I feel like I was doing a pretty good job as a healer. I wasn't drawing aggro. I was staying back and keeping my people healthy. So yeah, if you're running tank, you'll fit in well here. We have a company, we have a faction, we have a server. If in a couple of weeks, folks like you think this is a pretty dope little home, or you wander into our Discord, become a member, whatever, we've got space for people right now. I think our company has like 26 members, maybe. So we've still got space to get to the 100 cap. I'm pretty sure none of those are the right call-outs. I don't think it's real English. No, he's definitely saying leaf blow. I'm very confident he says leaf blow. Leaf blow! Everybody speaks English in town. What are you talking about? The NPCs are speaking English to me, Did you dual bar a healing staff, or what did you run on your back bar? What do you mean dual bar? I run a spear and a healing staff. I run both. So I'm dexterity and focus? Dexterity, focus, constitution. He's saying rageless roast. That's right. We have a couple of guys about to hit 40 in our company. Woo! That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I need to schedule the Battlefield stream so that people get the 30 noti. Where is stream holding? Shoopity shoot. Create the stream. There's the title, and here's our text for the body. Battlefield 2042. What the frick? Oh, there it is. Open beta gameplay. It's a killer thumbnail that I got. I mean, I was pretty proud of this one. Shoot to do. New gameplay. Howdy! Leaf blow! I love it. I freaking love it. Actually, no, let's take those out. And then these are supposed to be hashtag. What? Can you not do that? I did it earlier today. Does it not let you? There it goes. I was like, excuse me. Excuse me? And then hashtag Battlefield. There we go. Turn on that monetization, baby. Customization. We want live chat replay. Subscribers can talk as long as any duration. And we'll say 12:15 just so people get their 30-minute noti, but we'll obviously probably go over earlier than that. Okay. Done. Battle axe Warhammer for me. Yeah. I found a piece of heavy armor that had a it had a perk on it. It had a perk on it for one of the things on a hammer. And I was like, oh man. I was like, that would have been really cool to be able to, get a perk for what I have. But it made sense, right? It was heavy armor, so it was tank oriented. So I understood what they were doing. That's just gonna be Nerf spoon. It's too good. I was trying to tell people, I always get a little worried when everyone's like, this weapon, Lono, this weapon, Lono, this weapon, Lono, get this weapon. I'm like, maybe I won't. I always get a little nervous. Like, you know, everybody says it's good. Everybody says it's really strong and kind of busted. So it'll probably be the first to get nerfed. It'll be the first to get nerfed. I mean, I'm not going to campaign for it to be nerfed. Like, I'm not going to get that reputation in this. I'm not getting that reputation in this game. Heck no. Heck no. No, I'm not doing that. I did that in another game, you know. I'm not doing that here. But, yeah, I'm kind of avoiding anything that people say is, like, super duper strong. I'm kind of avoiding. I'm like, you enjoy that. For now. You enjoy that. Can't go wrong with Hatchet's undeniably good, like, likely too good because everyone acknowledges it. That's what I'm talking about, bruh. I am not touching it. Even if it gets a nerf, it'll still be good. Yeah, but I'd rather grab it and level it and invest in it and feel it post-nerf so that I don't feel the pain that you're going to feel if you get accustomed to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I am not going to advocate for a nerf. I'm not going to, but when anybody says what everybody's been saying about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away for the time being, because it's just the way of things. It's the way of things. Something always rises to the top. Let's see. I'm just updating all of the cards and all of the end screens on all my videos on the other channel, trying to get attention on the Battlefield gameplay we'll be doing here in a little bit. Play with what you enjoy. Nerfs and buffs will be constant. That's why I'm leveling Spear now, too. If they nerf Hatchet, Spear is the next easy choice. Yeah. OLED looking good. Maybe I can snag one. Ooh, that does look really good. That does look really nice. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Vinny. I mean, in principle, yes. In principle, I agree. That just play with whatever. Nerfs and buffs are going to happen. But for me, like right now, when I had the choice of like what should I invest in, I was like, everyone's saying Hatchet. And the last thing I would want to do is like invest in Hatchet and then, you know, in 2 weeks they'll roll out balancing, and I'll be I would be, you know, pretty bummed. Pretty bummed. So not like I'm not going to play the game anymore, but like, oh man, you know, I took everybody's advice and I went over and played, you know, and played this game, or I'm sorry, grinded this up, and now it's not as good as it was, you know. OLED comes with its own issues, especially for computers, chat. Yeah. Gauntlet can counter Great Axe in small scale, but in large wars, there is not a counter. You can only counter Great Axe with a Great Axe. Can we submit questions during gaming? I mean, I mean, you can. I don't have a way of bringing it up on screen, Robert. I don't have a way of doing that. I mean, I guess we could make every scene have that capacity. I know what I need to do. Actually, no, I wouldn't have a way of capturing it. Yeah, I wouldn't have a way of capturing it. If you think fast travel is expensive now, wait until you get to level 55. Crafting quest, they take 700 Azoth in about 30 minutes each for 2.5k XP when I need 100k to level up. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Like, that's gonna lead to some pain. That slope hurts, you know what I mean? So Purple did tweet out at 8 a.m. this morning We have confirmed that a breach has taken place. Our teams are working with urgency to understand the extent. We will update the community. Thank you for bearing with us. Philly D just kind of took him for a ride. This didn't age well. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Discard. I was going to tweet at Purple and be like, if the right information is made public, maybe it's time we had a conversation about reparations. Huh? Maybe it's time we had a conversation about reparations and making things right. And doing right by me and my family. Maybe we should have that conversation now that your laundry's about to get drug into the street. Gonna have a long day of emergency meetings at Purple? Yeah. I await your reply. I await your reply, you know? Maybe your moderation team and your legal team should, maybe they should reach back out. We should start having a conversation about how much I'm owed. You know, if the right stuff gets drug into the light, maybe it's time we had a conversation. Twitch in its entirety was breached, and a torrent of everyone's passwords, payout reports, and stream keys were released. Whew. Can you describe the flag capture system in Battlefield? It's supposed to be different than older titles. In my experience, what happened was, Robert, I would run up to a place, and if it was uncontested, it would start to come down, and then it would start to fill. So if it was red and I'm blue, it would come down, and then it would fill. It would refill, right? And if there was somebody there, it would put a 1 and a 1, and there'd be like a little bar representing that there was one person there, and I was there as well. And then if 2 people showed up, it would start to slide over. Right? So if 2 of us were there and there was 1 person there, the little meter would start to move. And so that guy's trying to find us and we're trying to find him. If enough people show up, you know what I mean? If enough people show up, then the meter just moves and that guy can't stop us. I don't know if that's a divergence from what it used to be. What, did it only take 1 person to block? And now they're like, no, if you have a greater ratio, you start to overtake. I hope you find a home here on YouTube with New World. I mean, I would love it, man. I would really, really love it. I would love to see the membership, you know, and the sub count and all those things start to go up. It would be really nice if we could start to see all the things we want to see. You know, that sub count, man. I mean, we're flying pretty quickly to 7,000 subs. It would be really nice for that to pick up steam and get to 10K. That unlocks some features on the channel, you know. Contested points were in older titles, I believe. I think the new thing is that the map is divided into larger sectors. There are several capture points to them to fully capture the sector. Oh, right. Yes. I was noticing that. Like, just capturing 1 point didn't necessarily matter. You had to capture more. Right. Yep. Let me make sure I closed Netflix on my phone. My battery's already low. Let's see. We got about 20 minutes before we'll shift. Let me make sure I got the redirect set up as well. I know it's a bit of a shift to go from talking New World to playing Battlefield, but we will play more New World today this afternoon. We are going to be looking at Mansfield. Oh, it's in Texas. Oh, gosh. There's a Mansfield, Ohio. So I saw Mansfield trending. Ugh. Okay, I have to capture the whole cluster for it to count. Yeah. Because when I was playing, I think there were 6 points, but each point had a cluster, and it puts a number, so it'd be like C1, C2, C3. Yeah. Can you name the stuff you sell in New World? Like, is there a way for me to call something a bag of dark roast? No, I don't think so. I've not been able to catch Chappelle's special yet. No, I was trying to finish Midnight Mass this morning, and I wasn't able to. I'm like really, really close to the end, I think. I've really enjoyed that. I like that cast. I like that group of people. I think they make good stuff. I loved Bly Manor and Hill House, and man, that girl, holy moly, is she good. She's got her name's Erin Green in the show. As an actress, oh my goodness, she is excellent. She has a couple of really intense moments in Midnight Mass, and she's very good. She's very, very good. People are going to be hijacking streams, linking scams, and the like. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be, that's going to be the dilemma. Is that, stuff's going to get compromised. People are going to, you're going to have to go in, change your password, set up 2-factor, reset all your stream keys. Yeah, all of that. Yeah. Yep. Talking about the one that played the youngest daughter in Hill House. I don't think she was the youngest daughter in Hill House. I think she was the middle. She's really pretty, and she's got like long, kind of thick, curly hair, more like wavy hair. Her name's Erin Green, and her name's Erin. Her character's name is Erin Green in Midnight Mass. As long as they don't release all that, but someone like that usually can't help themselves. I mean, stream keys could be universally reset by Purple. They could press a button and everyone's stream key would reset. They could fix that pretty quickly. And they could immediately require, like, anything. Any logins from an unfamiliar IP could be rejected, for 24 hours. Like, look, you're not going to be able to log in if you're logging in from an unfamiliar IP. There's things they could probably implement pretty quickly. Kate Siegel, is that her name? Kate Siegel. Yes, that's her. Yeah, she is fabulous. She does an excellent job in... she does a really, really good job in Midnight Mass. She's got a couple of scenes that are just bonkers with, like, as far as the emotion. She's excellent. Changing the password changed the stream key for me. Yeah, that might, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Was it anonymous? We don't know. We don't know who did it. We don't know who did it. I said last year when the 16 reports came out about like misconduct at the company, and everybody, obviously I was obviously very angry at everybody who did what they did to me. I kept saying that it's only a matter of time before somebody internal at the company lands a blow, you know. They land a blow, you know. Somebody. You should do a list of recommended games to play on Steam for the near end of this year for folks who got a new gaming PC. Yeah, I want to do like my top games of the year. You know, that kind of stuff I think can be good. You know, it wasn't me, but if anyone asks, my computer has been at your house all day. Yeah. Two factors asking me to go through mobile, and all I use is a home phone due to disability. So I can't two-factor without anything else. Oh gosh. Are we staying in Eden? It's full up. Oh, can you not make? It probably won't let you make a character in Eden right now. For the time being, yeah. For the time being, I don't see us leaving Eden. The Midnight Mass creator is going to bring Edgar Allan Poe to Netflix? Huh. Oh, nuts. Okay. Hi, Lono, long time no see. What's good? How are you? Welcome back in. I couldn't even access my emails on the best of days, let alone hack an organization. Right. To the Azoth talk, says Bada. I think it being a pain point is fine, but at high levels when it costs 70-80% of your cap, that's just too steep. In my opinion, they should raise the cap with your level a bit. Yeah, it shouldn't completely clear you out just to travel once. Yeah. That doesn't sound like proper scaling to me. When you can get up to 1,000 in the early game, you can get up to 1,000 in the early game, and then you get to the late game and you still can only get up to 1,000, and it's taking like 70% of your Azoth to travel one time. Yeah, that doesn't sound like that's scaling very well. Because if you're in the late game and you're earning Azoth and you're not getting it because of the cap, and that Azoth could help cushion some of that blow, I think that they need to raise that cap. I agree with you. Nice hair, dude. Why do you always come into chat like with the laughing faces? Like you're every time you come into chat, you're like laughing at me? Or are you laughing at my hair? Like, I don't understand. It comes off as like passive. It doesn't come off as friendly. Azoth travel needs a cap, like 200 max. Yeah, you could just cap it and say it's ridiculous to make somebody spend that much Azoth. Do you know what I mean? You're making somebody spend 70 to 80% of their Azoth just to travel. Like that doesn't seem like an appropriate trade. You know what I mean? That seems like it's like you're overcharging. It's like you're squeezing the player. I don't know. We're getting a really good result today from search and from suggest. So if you found us through YouTube search and suggest, feel free to hit the subscribe button. We do a talk show in the mornings, and we were breaking down this morning fast travel, what we think about it. If you have your own opinions on it, if you've got questions, I'm a Safe for Work broadcaster. The talk show in the mornings, it's Safe for Work, and so is my gameplay. Typically around now, we would be pivoting to New World gameplay, but the servers are still under maintenance, so we're going to play Battlefield 2042 beta instead, and then once the New World servers come back up, we're going to jump in, and I'm going to show you housing today. I'll be buying buying a house and kind of walking you through the benefits of owning a house, buying a house, and thinking through strategic placement and things like that. Have you seen Evil? No. Has anyone suggested ESO's fast travel system? It's free if it's from a fast travel point. Costs gold Azoth from random places. Yeah, maybe. I'm sure he has a tweet sitting in his draft waiting to hit send. Who, me? Is Ginger Prime convinced you to get on the Enderwalk train? I don't think so. I don't think I could get into that game. The gameplay is just not for me. I have to be able to enjoy the gameplay, the content loop, and I don't think I could do that with with Final Fantasy. I don't think so. I hate property taxes in game. I have enough bills in real life. Right? You know? Exactly. Fast travel sucks in my opinion. But when I remember how World of Warcraft was back in the day, I'm like, meh. Oh, about the high school event. Right. Yeah. I love the gameplay loop in Final Fantasy XIV. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy it. Might be learning to optimize my fights. I prefer more action combat than tab-based combat. Right. If you want to travel for cheaper, Azoth, just lighten your bag. I think the problem is you get late game and, you get late game and I think you're just automatically heavier and it's costing more. You know what I mean? Yeah, Reaper, it's not good. It certainly isn't good. It is not looking very good. Far Cry 6, despite some faltering new inventory mechanics and a handful of bizarre design choices, its creative weaponry means taking down an outpost, ransacking a convoy, or even just taking a ride with a buddy never felt better. Our review. So it looks like reviews are a little mixed on Far Cry 6. No, New World does not have mounts. No. They've talked about that. Size of the world, size of the map. Yeah. They've talked about how it doesn't quite feel big enough for mounts. We talked about that this morning. We said, well, you could do server queues have been better. They have. They might get a little stacked today because they're making everybody wait for maintenance. So it might kind of recreate the queue times. But they have been better, yes. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, mounts. Yeah, mounts we talked about it today. You know, mounts, you could say, hey, they're slightly faster than walking / running. And that would be, they're slightly faster and they're mainly meant for like maybe carrying more stuff, maybe getting through water a little bit easier or something. I don't know. Didn't somebody say Far Cry 6 would do this? Do what? You got to start crafting and refining your mats to free up space. Trust me, I know the pain of managing my inventory. I have a house and the storage is almost full. I like the display of Link's shield. It's sick. Oh, thank you. Far Cry 6 fixed a few times. It's not out yet, Zubair. The queue times were better yesterday. Shut up, Zubair. Fast traveling is just a player engagement tactic, says Adam. Don't want to spend Azoth on it, then waste time walking. Don't want to waste time walking, then spend time earning Azoth. Metrics still look good. Right. Right. What is that? Blackpink photo contest winner announcements? Paul, why is that in... Why are you putting that in the Discord? Oh, it's a PUBG thing. I was like, what the frick is that? What arguments against mounts in New World? I'll make my best argument against a mount in New World. It's not a super large game, and the traveling economy seems to be very important about maintaining a sense of power, progression, and exploration. And you would start to potentially neuter or disrupt all of those design decisions if mounts completely eliminated the... You just wouldn't feel the need, to spend money on fast travel or recall to an inn or buy a house and recall to the house. So there's an ecosystem in place that was built in the absence of mounts, and mounts would potentially disrupt some of that. So mounts would have to be couched in like a very... more cosmetic, ooh, they're cool, they make you walk a little bit faster and maybe help you with some carrying capacity. But outside of that, I think you've got to be careful with them because they've designed the ecosystem of the game around that, right? Maybe add a wingsuit or a glider, but they're not gonna add mounts. I don't know if the game would make much sense with a wingsuit or a glider. That would be a little funny. Maybe a glider like Link, but even then, I don't know about that. I just don't. That traversal might feel very odd in New World. So you're going to climb. A lot of the times, it's really difficult to get up to a high point anyway. It would be very rare that you could get up to a high point and even benefit from having the glider. By the time you're done climbing, you could have just walked across a dadgum field. And falling damage is almost not... It's easy. It's like, well, I'll just take it on the chin and then you'll be okay, right? There's not enough verticality in the game. Yeah, I don't think there's enough of that to make a glider viable. It would be nice to mitigate some of the annoying when you're like falling down a cliffside, right? Outside of that, I don't think so. I really don't. I would imagine it would make more sense to be like, hey, we added some mounts, and the mounts make you slightly faster and give you slightly increased carrying speed, but you would not want to completely disrupt the ecosystem that they've built, right? That I think would be the danger. So it would be freaking sweet. I'm not going to argue that it wouldn't be cool, but it would feel out of place, and it really wouldn't feel worth the dev time to periodically be able to glide off of a slightly elevated position. You know what I mean? People just jump the fence with open gate right next to them going the same place. Well, and because mantling doesn't really slow you down all that much, I like to mantle stuff while I'm running from kited enemies if I don't feel like fighting them, because it slows them down. That's something that I like doing. I like intentionally kiting through, trees and fences and stuff so that whatever's chasing me has difficulty, right? Give me 1 second. I'm going to run upstairs very, very quickly. I'll be right back, and we are going to have to transition here in just a second to gameplay. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Let us get ready here. My game library. Play. Walking is fine. Just doesn't take as long as you get stuff done on the way. Mounts aren't needed at all unless the map gets much bigger. Yeah. Yeah. I don't feel the need for mounts, but they could help. You know what I mean? It just sucks when the quest tells you to go all the way across the world. Other than that, I kind of have to embrace the exploring part. Well, that's what I mean. Like, they want you to feel that sense of journey, exploration, progress. You've got to go. You got to find. You got to unlock. It's supposed to feel that way. And if you were just fast travel daisy chaining your way across the map, I think it takes some of that out of the game. You know what I mean? You know, it can. I believe that could be a detriment to the experience. Allow access. Travel's a key part of the game, right? Like that's what I mean. Like it, you know, options. What the frick did this game just do? Camera shake, none. Invert. Let's go to display. It like... What the frick? How is this not... This is in full screen. Okay, borderless. Man, we might be playing on the Xbox, dude. This game is running, this Battlefield game is running like trash on my PC. I'm in the settings and it's running like trash. Like I can't, I'm just trying to change to full screen and it won't frickin' let me. Yes, keep. Display. Full screen. We don't want any motion blur either. Film grain. No. Apply. Yes, keep. Holy frick. Xbox best box? Homie, I booted up and had no problem this morning. On my Xbox. I booted up no problem. This thing lowered my resolution. I couldn't get it to go full screen. What the actual frick? Set the vertical field of view, third person field of view, ADS field of view. They got a lot of settings in here. Okay. Invert vertical look, no. Mouse raw output, no. Access main program. Access main. Please! I hate this hack of crap. Okay. Whenever I start whispering like that, like access main program. Access main facility. Okay. Customize channel. Okay, let's do that. We're going to stream holding. Let's take the live off of fast travel explain because we will not be live anymore. Save images. Save. Okay. Okay. So we are going to play some New World today and look at the housing as long as the servers come back up. Okay. In the meantime, there is a link in chat and that is where we are heading. Now redirect should bring you with us. Jumping into the battlefield beta live. Chicka boom, ticka boom, ticka boom, ticka boom, boom, boom. There we go. And then we're gonna go hashtag battlefield beta, hashtag battlefield open beta, and then let's add an image. There we go. So that is where we are going. And let me make sure redirect is set. Redirect's been acting kind of funky, okay? Redirect's been acting kind of funky, but this is where we're going. We're in the game. We're ready to play. I'm playing PC. I'll be playing mouse and keyboard. If we have any problems on the PC, we'll just jump over to Xbox, okay? So click the link in chat or ride the redirect. I'll see you guys over there.